Chat. I love both.
What's up, crew? You guys hear Evan on the spaces? Let's getting everybody over here. Let's go.
Join us.
How we doing, y'all?
Jordan, Emp, they're all gonna be there. I'm gonna go hang out on the live.
Oh, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Thirsty Thursday. I was thirsty this morning for some longs, and we got it again. It's just the same thing every morning, guys, literally. I'll lay it out for you if you want.
One more time.
We'll go through it. Let's go through it. Let's go through it.
To go watch the live stream that we were on YouTube. There is less delay. You get to see the screen.
This morning I woke up about 15 minutes before the market opened, which I am not applauding myself for. But, oh wait, what the heck? Hold on. This looks ugly. Hold on. Sorry, I'm going to fix this for you. Give me a second. That's better. Where's the one that we usually use? There we go. Okay. Got that fixed. So this is what I was looking at going into the open. Pretty bullish. We were sitting here with New York session highs, New York session lows. So previous day highs, previous day lows. And we're just in the middle, right? But what I did notice is we've been respecting bullish order flow, right? On the daily chart. M's in here. Cool. I'm just explaining the setup from today real quick, Em. But on the daily chart, I know yesterday was a little bit hellish, but even with what happened yesterday, we still were basically respecting this big daily for value on ES. Same with NQ. And then I had lower time frame.
All right, Jordy, you can end the spaces, by the way.
Spots that were holding up as well. Yeah. Can I wrap it up?
Yeah, I basically said for the last 20 seconds, live stream. Go to the live stream. Do you guys want to come on the live stream?
Cool. Awesome. I'm just going through the setup I took today for everybody. But yeah, we had this nice divergence at the lows where we took out Asia lows on NQ over here. And let me switch this to ES. ES, we did not end up doing that. And then we got a nice, beautiful 5-minute inversion with the change in the state, which I didn't have drawn here, I guess. I didn't think I had it drawn here, maybe. No, that's okay. Oh, wait. I got too many charts. I'm sorry. Yes, I did have it drawn here. So we got a nice 5-minute inversion, even though it was small. We got a change in the state, which is one of the things I use. We got another inversion, and this is like not even, I was like just barely getting up and getting on spaces, so I didn't take any of this. You'll notice what was different about this morning rather than the past few mornings is we already sold off in London. So we didn't really need to drop a whole lot more. We were dropping right into the area needed, and then we got the setup, and I ended up waiting because I always know there's going to be this second entry of this breaker block here. This is essentially just that candle high that was continuing the trend down gets broken above, right? And on a lower time frame, you can see we perfectly respected it. And so I wait for us to break, close above with momentum. I end up putting my order entry right here, risking the breaker, because if price is extremely efficient and I'm right all down here with my analysis, we should go straight to TP. And that's exactly what we did this morning. So nice little rundown. I can start to look at some other stuff now. Just wanted to do that little rundown for you guys. I think over the weekend, I'm going to end up doing a whole, like, deep dive into my strategy for everybody, because it seems like a lot of you guys have been wanting that. So maybe we hop on stream over the weekend, do a little deep dive, and then we can turn that into a video. Didn't know Jordan was a Chad. We're getting there. We're trying.
He does the mewing. He's doing jaw exercises every day.
Chill.
What is up, YouTube?
Neck curls.
Dude, that Tesla run was something else.
Okay. Yeah, I can bring up Tesla, and feel free to bring up your charts. I know for most people it's a little more aesthetically pleasing. But I mean, Tesla today, you guys know we gapped down. I mean, this is the gap down 4.3%. And then from that, we even extended down further. So we were really down 5.71% from those lows, now sitting up 7.3. It's just beautiful. So yeah, big day for Tessie. Even though, in reality, we're only up 1.16%. We didn't really go much anywhere in this range. We're just holding this range, but it's just a beautiful sign of bulls really stepping in off these lows. And to me, it's signaling we want to start to make our way towards these all-time highs, which isn't much higher. So yeah, I'm really liking Tessie. Vertical. What's up, Rizzo?
Hey, Jordy.
Dude, how's the morning been? Dude, I just been playing long, man.
Been
just
around
playing
in
long,
the
man.
mornings.
I've been missing you. I've been having to fight minks off for you, bro. I've been doing it, though. We've been doing it. She gets her cheese early. And I'm like, no, we're going long. I actually got her. She got long today. Before I did, too. Does mewing actually
Jordan,
work? No.
Saz the Great has a question for you. And then, by the way, Emp, there's a question for you as well from David.
Mewing is just proper tongue placement. So, yes, it works.
Jeez,
Like,
that's... Clip it.
It works if you put your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Yes, you're going to have less, shit here. Yes, of course. But it's not going to change your structure. You don't have to go big screen on me. Yeah.
Got the close up for the crew.
None of that.
We're trying to figure out.
DIY.
I gotta get those jaw.
I have a bunch of Aquaphor on right now because my freaking lips are so chapped.
David wants to know, is Ryan Wolf? He is the guy behind the Wolf Financial account a lot, but there is a different Wolf. He is a wolf.
He is a wolf.
That was kind of dumb. Is it? Yeah.
We're all wolf.
So yeah, mewing works, but it's not going to change your bones. Enough with the mewing, though. Look at SoFi's chart. Let's look at it. Well, SoFi we've talked about on here pretty extensively. For me, let me look at a bigger time frame here. Weekly's pretty bullish. I have a potential setup short here if we keep holding under this 29, but if we break over this 29, which it looks like we're trying to, we spent too much time here. If we were going to go lower, we should have just gone lower already. So I actually kind of like SoFi because I would anticipate the setup that I look at, that I'm personally looking at, actually gets invalidated the way we're respecting the bottom of this. It's starting to tell me it wants to blow through this $29, which if that happens, I think you're off to the races again on SoFi. I was a little more bearish, but again, it's clearly if this setup were to happen and we're gonna sell off more, it should have happened here this day. We had this day, this should have been continuation to the downside after, and instead what do? We reclaim the exact area that we tried to, this is my defense area essentially when I'm looking at this type of setup, and the defense area is getting ran through. We're supposed to be respecting this defense and moving lower, and instead we're still respecting the top of it, but we're also closing in the bottom of it and looking more and more bullish. So
LeBron James injury information leaked to bettors. NBA gambling incident suggests.
Uh-oh.
LeBron James. New bombshell indictment, criminal
LeBron's
charges,
involved in
former
that?
NBA players Damian James, suggesting that while affiliated with the Lakers, he leaked information about the injury status of superstar LeBron James.
I can take all these off. Too.
Boy, my portfolio is having a hell of a day.
Hell of a day. It's going to be a good day, Tater.
Great day,
Good day,
one of the
Tater.
best.
One
A
of the
lot great
best.
days this year, but this one,
It's a great
one of the
day.
best. They said, "Why is this day so great?" Because I own a lot of one stock that's up 6%.
Said why?
Dude, this new bank, dude, pull up new bank daily.
What's
What
the
I was,
ticker again?
In you.
Just straight rip your face off.
Oh.
We're having a good day. This is my second largest holding.
I'm stoked. Look at this 1 minute.
Dude, it's insane. It's straight up. Like I know Tesla was fun to watch earlier, but I was like watching this one just fly.
How's
This is what I was talking about on Spaces. Like I have, the whole
Oh.
thesis around it. I like it. It's just, it's beautiful.
Okay, so
We're
we're
gonna
getting
talk
my
about
setup
by the
on
way, for
hood
stocks,
on the
too.
daily. I want this. I need to turn my
Lasso
volume
in
up.
said Lasso in wants you to look at SoFi. Saz the Great asked for Rivian. I don't know if you guys ended up seeing those ones. There are some comments coming in.
I love hood if we close over 135.21. And this is just the start of the move, and I'm already long from the morning. I'm long from open. I had long already, but yesterday knocked me out and I got out too early. I should have waited for the daily close, and we closed above 125, and I would have never gotten out, but it's fine. Got back in. But now I want to see further continuation of what I'm looking for here, which is going to be a candle closure over this on the daily today. I would really like to see that. Even if we don't, I'll still be in the position, but that would be ideal here. And then you can see on this bigger time frame, we have absolutely nothing to here except for this high to blow through. There's no order flow. There's no nothing on the daily. All order flow is bullish here. Hello. This is imbalanced price action. Bulls are 100% holding this as of now, right? Until the market shows me different. So if this triggers for me, I expect us to work into these highs really easily and then get into these highs because this is where we have some order flow here. Let me mark it out. It's really tiny, and I would imagine we blow through it and hood just goes to all-time highs, but got to expect a little bit of rejection, especially intraday at that spot. So this is where I would be targeting. So it's essentially this type of trade. Even though I'm already long, but this is technically like the trigger that it would be up into these highs here.
Volume's just dying off this afternoon.
You guys gotta pay attention to the chat a little more, Jordy. We got 2 new channel members. Check this out.
Yeah.
Stock market news and EMP coming in first.
Let's
Bang,
go,
bang.
baby. Level member. Oh, we can do that now. Yeah, guys.
We just opened that yesterday.
You guys can become you can level up
First.
in the wolf trading community.
No, but
baby.
you don't have
Got
to.
my
But that one
badge?
you can't
No,
do
no, you
that.
don't have to
But
do
you do
that,
get the
obviously.
badge. I'm long and strong, is what Colin's saying. Ready to get the fraction.
But it's cool that we have that now.
Didn't,
Hell yeah.
You didn't look at Rivian or the other one, right?
No.
Yeah, when you look at Rivian and SoFi, Rivian still looks not
We'll come
great.
back to hoodie.
Let me check Prospero because I've been using Prospero.
Hey, do you want
a
to bring
lot.
your chart up? Because you have some simple lines that people can look at. I don't have any of that. And I'm going to go too in depth on my explanations, to be honest.
Could do whatever.
I'll go so in depth.
Just put yours in the background for a second. Here's Rivian real fast. I still have this on my chart. You're consolidating underneath the 200-day moving average, which isn't super fun. Yeah, I don't love a lot about this. I was gonna pull up Prospero and see if it's been on their long-term bear for a while. Let's see if it's still on here. It is
just
still
looks
on
ugly.
here.
Under the
Profitability is
200-day.
10. Yeah, the chart's terrible. The options market is not great on it. The downside Downside's at a 70 out of 100. The profitability is down at a 10. I mean, it's
from a charting perspective, it doesn't look good. And then from a fundamental perspective, if they're cutting jobs, probably lower production, and then the EV tax credit going away is probably going to hurt them from a sales perspective. I mean, they lost. I mean, just on a fundamental, I think in Q2, their average loss per vehicle was $20,000 a car. Loser. So I don't know how many they're going to sell. They're going to have to figure out a way to get the profitability, but losing that tax credit is probably going to hurt them fundamentally.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of what's going on with Rivian right now. I mean, maybe, we get to next year. If you're building a long-term position, I mean, you look left, it's not a terrible spot to build a long-term position, but just in the shorter term, I think until you get to some more profitability from them, until maybe they get this new SUV, this R2 line out early next year, I think it's tough. I do want to look at SoFi. Who else put SoFi in here? Lasso in. So SoFi, you are above the previous all-time high from back in January of 2021. You made this, amazing move up here, right? And then what I see on this is a very strong trend, made a new all-time high, and then pulled back like it should have. I mean, when this happens, this is a normal move. It's actually a very healthy move. And what I see is this 50-day moving average. And look at this. How many touches do you see on this 50-day moving average? 1, 2, 3, 4. That is a very responsive reaction to a moving average. That, to me, is a lot of confirmation. It looks really good. So now what are you getting? You're getting the same resistance, but you're getting higher lows, higher lows. So I would expect this actually probably to break out. Now, you do have earnings on Tuesday. So do you want to try to play it into earnings? It's a little tough call to make. I'm not a big earnings play type of guy, but I'm looking at this and it looks, and from a chart, kind of coiled. 50-day moving average caught up, held 4 times. Nice consolidation here, right at previous all-time high, which is this dotted line. So when I see those things, there's nothing that I don't like about this chart, honestly. I mean, if I was just looking for a trade and they didn't have earnings on Tuesday, I would probably look at this as a nice trade setup, to be honest. Uptrending stock, pulled back and consolidated. That to me is a winning recipe as far as a setup goes. Wow, you mentioned SoFi 3 times into the mirror and somebody shows up.
Hey guys.
Oh, hey Sam. So weird. I mentioned SoFi and you just pop in.
Yeah. Speaking of fast growing banks, we're about to have a new all-time high. Or is it new all-time high?
No. Not quite, but look, dude, I was tagging you. I was gonna text you. What? Sam's one of the only people that have really talked through the new bank stuff with me. He's my new bank homie.
Yeah, the new bank and Mercado Libre, dude. Come on, man, come on. But I already told you it's not as big as a position for me anymore. But it's still decent size.
That's just a great example of a short term. If you draw that trend line from the top down there, from the top of that high, and right there, and you get this big break today. It's a buy right over that trend line this morning, and you got the moving averages underneath you, and they kind of break above where they stack together. That's a classic setup right there. Boom, and then you get the big move higher.
Yeah, even it's almost 2 setups within one. So, I mean, you had this. You had to pull back into the 50-day, kind of similar to that SoFi chart we just looked at. And you had kind of a sharp down here. So actually, if I move this trend line, let me move this and do this. So you kind of, you could really maybe even do this. But then once you broke out here and backed up, boom. Apple is now building AI servers.
Oh my goodness.
Apple building AI servers, I just heard.
Let's see here.
Is that real? Fox Business? They said Apple and AI in the same sentence, so I'm just confused.
I mean, Apple's not
Things don't go
moving
together.
much. Just kind of pinned at 260. So if there's news,
It's saying
No,
Apple is now building and shipping American-made artificial intelligence servers in the United States.
Where are you reading that from?
It's going to be a Fox Business article. I'm just seeing Oracle NYSE put it out on his post. He likes to scrape stuff around. He gets some stuff right.
All right, I'll catch up with the chat here a little bit. HIMS was mentioned a little bit earlier. I want to make sure we hit on that one. HIMS is no man's land. I mean, you kind of have a level here. I can just throw it on the chart. You kind of have a level right in here. It's not like, I don't know, it's not a super exciting level, but it's something. But the 200-day
website.
I was thinking about selling some puts here, but
sorry for interrupting you.
yeah.
But I'm trying to go through Fox Business website to see this. Horrible. One of the worst websites I've seen.
By the way, real quick for the chat, we used to do this on my stream all the time. If ProFast is in here, you remember it. Maybe Tommy's in here too. I don't know. I don't know if they're around yet. I think Pro's probably already in here. But every time somebody donates or any of the super chats or anything like that, you guys just have to instantly spam W's in the chat every time. Okay, like that's what used to happen. I'd be focused on like trying to teach people stuff on my stream, and I would just end up seeing a ton of W's because I didn't even see that somebody donated, and that's how I would see. So like, let's make that a thing on the stream. It's got to be
real quick.
part of the day.
We have Frankie, Uncle Frank, joining us in here as well, because we're going to keep just so the screen can be bigger. He is here. He's in the background. Evan's in the background as well. We can have multiple voices back there, but just for the screen piece alone, we'll just keep these 5 up here for now. We'll rotate them around. Any other thoughts on HIMS before I move on here? As I look at NVIDIA new high of day, IWM new high of day. Sam, do you have any other thoughts on? I just feel like until you get, I don't know, maybe a change in the narrative again, because we just had the president say he's going to make the weight loss stuff cheaper. Maybe until you get down to the 200-day, I just feel like you're kind of in no man's land right here.
I like it, risking that last low you made yesterday.
I don't know. Long-term investors probably a good level to buy around the 200-day, but traders, I mean, it's kind of tough. You know, you could probably get like a good risk reward to the upside around the 200-day moving average, but it really is just there's so many other better setups out there right now.
Yeah, I mean, you see the last time you touched the 200-day on HIMS, it just exploded off of it. So that's probably what I would look for.
I would probably sell premium if it was anything. But
yeah, you could probably sell against that 42.5 level or somewhere around there, maybe slightly below, maybe the 40, 41.
Yeah, you probably sell 40. I would almost want to sell like 42s, and if it comes down there, then you buy it. That wouldn't be a terrible thing in my mind as well.
Here, it's got some juice in there too. I mean, even the 29 days out, if you want to get a little bit longer, because those will decay. But the 38s or 37s are trading for $1.40 in the 38s. That gives you $2 worth of room.
So somebody said Victoria's Secret is pumping. Yeah, nice little, almost up 5%. Look at that. A little push on Victoria's Secret. Not sure what's behind it. Haven't seen any news since the old fashion show the other day.
Man, this
yeah, Watt Bender's coming to see me on Tuesday. Oh, maybe I need to buy Ondis off of the 50-day. Look at that.
We are 6 points away from new all-time highs in ES. Same for the market. Are we going to get a new all-time high today? That'll be pretty interesting. It wants it.
Got plenty of time.
Previous high was 68.12.25.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on Friday.
Oh, shoot. You are right.
We're still pretty far on SPX.
Yeah. SPX, though, the closing high is at 53. So
Yeah, we're 17 points away from all-time high on SPX. The closing
Wait,
on my
what?
15-minute chart.
No, all-time closing high is at 53.
No, 67.64 on the cash SPX.
Yeah, not the closing high, just all-time high.
Yeah, no, I was talking about closing high because that's what they're going to be
Got it.
tracking on those charts. They always track the closing high. Just 6 points away.
Nobody pays attention to where it closes. They just look at the tallest wick.
Well, I mean, the average person reading a newspaper or looking at Yahoo Finances and trading futures, they're not like, oh, well, we were just here the other day. Come on, man.
Yeah. But this
Shout out
does
to you
look good.
guys. I changed the title, but I did put live stock market / futures trading in the title. I figured might as well do it to the boys' love. Give Jordan and Amp a good time. All right, if you're
Go
gonna
back
use
to
a prop firm,
ONDS.
It's a good
use Code
time.
Wolf.
Use
ONDS
Code
is
Wolf.
drones, right?
I don't care what prop firm.
Guys, I put this NDX butterfly on at the 180s, my short strike. If we get up there, put it on for 80-cent credit. So the 180 level is what I'm targeting in the NDX. You'd have to go on a smaller time frame, which is kind of most previous highs. Put it on for a credit today, and if we slowly grind up there, if just a 1x2 pays $2,000 at that level. So the time decay, if we keep rolling up there, it's going to start to expand in that spread. And that thing could be a lotto ticket here shortly.
I remember yesterday when somebody said, how is Stock Talk going to defend his bull thesis?
We defended it for him. Told you. Told you. Easy.
Look where we are.
Look where we are.
Dude, if there is a headline, and I know it was proven false according to Yahoo Finance, Jennifer Schonberg, but I mean, how long was that headline out there until it got dismissed? Like, it was out there for like at least 12 hours or around 12 hours. Hey, we're gonna buy quantum stocks. Like, oh my goodness.
She's
ripped
she's
them
coming on
overnight,
today,
too.
by the way.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, they ripped them immediately. They're
up like 20%.
But then she talked to a White House spokesperson. She tweeted me that actually earlier. She is coming on Stocks on Spaces here in about 30, 45 minutes.
Okay.
Boots on the ground reporting. How about that? Somebody in the chat, I can't find it. It's because it. But I want to ask while Sam's here. What we got going on with the old Aunt Irene?
Oh, well, I mean, I put my starter on. Here's my problem is that I was waiting for it to hit the 50-day because it hit the 20-day. And I was like, well, I already got my starter on. I got 1.5% position. And this was like something more like I kind of wanted to build toward, but I don't know. I mean, I got a pretty big position in Nebius, NBIS. So they're basically going to move together. But of the two, if like this thesis really does come true, I think Iron has the most amount of move to the upside by far of the two. But definitely the most risk associated with it.
Look at that, right off the 50-day.
Yeah, I know. I saw that yesterday. But I'm actually green on my ads now. But I was adding around the low hundreds and 110s. So, but it's not like monster ads or anything, just like adding to it,
I see this Baba and JD. So there was a headline earlier. Trump is going to meet with Xi on Thursday of next week. He's flying out tomorrow to go to Malaysia, and then he's going to end up meeting with President Xi of China. So I saw some of the Chinese stocks getting a little bit off of that. In general, once again, you had a huge move, came back down. You're consolidating, similar setup to what we've been talking about. This could work out pretty well, especially if things calm down a little bit. JD is in a different boat.
I would go with the hyperscalers
What
on
is
that.
that?
I would go with Baba.
Yeah, I'd probably stick to Baba and Baidu as the two that are, and that's good. Baidu's pulled back into that 120 off that big rip that it had.
Yeah, Baidu. So these Chinese stocks, I've said this before on stream, I'll say it again. these charts are hard to look at. You almost want to go to like a weekly instead of a daily because they trade so much overnight. So this is a 200 week reclaim right here, and then this is a 9 EMA on the weekly that it's holding above. So just look at that. But the weekly charts look a little bit better on these because they trade overnight so much. During the day, they're really gappy. So like that's why you see so many gaps in these charts, because they trade, the China names obviously trade much more overnight.
Yeah. And when you really think about it, JD is more e-commerce, right? So
I think so.
you're not
Yeah.
really you're not getting that massive AI push in it as you would with Alibaba and Baidu. So you're kind of in the hands of the Chinese retailer or the Chinese consumer. I don't know if that's the trade. The trade is really just tech, and that's the Amazon or the Amazon and AWS of China, or it's the Google of China, which is Alibaba and Baidu. Like that. That's just where the alpha is. Like I don't know. Charts aside, that's where the fundamentals are. But dude, if these two presidents meet, like, there's not going to be bad news. Like, Xi isn't just gonna. He isn't gonna like get out of his way to just stand up and walk out of the meeting. Like these were pre-scripted meetings. Like if a meeting's gonna happen, then that's the news. Not what are they gonna say during the meeting. Like none of that is gonna matter.
It's gonna be a wild week.
Frank, can you do anything up here?
We got the Fed next week. We got the hyperscalers next week. We got the Xi meeting next week. Gravy, man.
Frank's there in the back. One of the
he's giving you the
EL.
cold
I would
shoulder
love
because you
Frank.
put him back there.
I would love Frank. I don't see his microphone connected. That's what's weird. Whenever I look at it, Frankie is here. Audio.
Okay.
Dobey. Jordan.
Yeah.
Give me your top 3 movies of all time.
I think on. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Will.
I was just gonna say on EL, it had a nice base there around that 88 area, and if you get a pullback into that 20 simple somewhere around that 93 level, I think that's a buy there.
Jeez, what a fall from great. The reason I would ask is, if I remember correctly, Frank took them public. That's why I wanted to get Frank's thoughts on it, but I don't see his microphone connected for some reason.
Evan, The Dirt. It's like a Motley Crue movie.
Never heard of it.
Bones Brigade. It's
Bones Brigade.
What is it? Skateboard movie. It's a skateboard movie talking about like the original Bones Brigade crew. It's really cool.
So eclectic of you.
And then like I don't know, maybe probably what's it called? It just won an award. I forget the name. Why am I blanking on it?
Teletubbies?
No. Oh, it's so good. Inception. That's like number 1, honestly. Inception. It's an amazing movie.
The Dirt.
The Dirt is really good. Love that movie.
What are we talking about? Movies.
Evan asked.
That was me.
Top 3 movies. That's them.
No, shut up.
Give a stream a like.
I don't know if anybody's got an opinion on this one that Paul's asking about the rare earths next week. I mean, it'll be an interesting meeting, right? We'll have to see how it goes. I have a feeling we're going to see all this posturing before the meeting, and then the meeting will probably, be spun nicely from both sides as they come out of it. But that's all I know. I don't know if the rare. I mean, I don't think the rare earths theme's going away anytime soon.
Definitely not for Walmart.
Walmart is going to start selling rare earths. crypto miners. They're going to have some data centers. I think they have some quantum AI that you can get in the self-checkout lane. So
watch
Walmart's
all the big AI stocks go away, and Walmart emerges as the leader.
Yeah. I would make Walmart and Apple are going to be the AI leaders in 5 years.
Yeah.
How about that, Evan?
As long as we know who's first and who's second, I'm okay with it.
Wow.
In Q, the NASDAQ basically hitting previous session high right there.
I'll be right about
ES hanging out above it. Why is this? I don't know why that was a news story on XRP. Get Tesla's. Great
Tesla
day.
Absolute ripper today.
All right, here's that was crazy to watch. Dell, this is the chart I was talking about. I took calls on this yesterday. I think either yesterday or before on stream. I can't remember which day. I think it was yesterday. They hit about 85% or so. I'm going to probably trim at the end of the day, but I really like this look right here.
Yeah, that could be on that trend line too. If we do get a little pullback on the shorter term, maybe a retest or something of that backside of that trend line. As long as we close above it over the next few days, that would be bullish as well.
Kind of a little falling wedge breakout. We'll see how that one continues. Qualcomm's the other one that I've been in, and it just keeps like grinding higher, just grinding its way up. But I did like it, held the 9 yesterday above all the moving averages, and there's a lot of traffic here. But I think if it can get through some of this traffic, boy, you can really get a nice move. I'm just looking for it to get here first, and I'll think about rolling if we get up there. Hood, we talked about this. We should revisit this. I know Jordan had it on his screen earlier, but yesterday we were talking to you guys about this. It was down, 7% or something like that. And I was, touching the 50-day moving average for the first time in a while. There's also like this kind of little volume shelf that had popped up here. Reset this real fast. But you had this area here. And we said it probably rebounds. Well, just during the day yesterday, it rebounded like 5%. And then today, hot stock gets a bid behind it. So nice to see that work out. The funny thing is how many people yesterday were like, well, I hope Hood bounces so I can get out of it some. Or a lot of the quantum people yesterday hope we get a bounce so I can try to get out of this thing because they bought it up here. And it gets back up there today, and I guarantee you they didn't sell. Forbes, this NVIDIA one, I'm telling you what, I bought back into it yesterday because we closed back above the 50-day and has a nice push going. But boy, this is going to be the death of me, this trade right now, because it's like it just keeps. I think this moves late next week when you hear about the CapEx spend. That's what I really think is going to happen. I was hoping it would maybe run up some before that, but probably late next week. But it's back over the point of control at 182. You've heard Will call out this 182 level a lot on Spaces as well. The 182 back over that. If it can somehow close a day up here, I would feel way better about it. But the bottom side of this is really nice. Rizzo, what have you been looking at outside of the futures?
Outside of futures, nothing really. I don't think I've moved positions around. Only thing I've been stuck in is Amazon, Salesforce. And that's about it. Those are like my biggest positions in my short-term account.
The Salesforce played out really nicely for the trade. I closed up here the other day. I would consider buying it back maybe somewhere, but actually maybe like right here. Actually, really interesting. Look at this. Is this the back test that you buy?
I mean, it's a good area.
It's kind of tempting, actually, now that I look at it.
Yeah.
CRM. Let's see. Pretty sure I just came back to like break even on my cost basis.
Yeah,
The only
yeah, I don't know. So, Will, tell me this, and I want to hear your piece too, what you're going to say. But also, when I see this in a raging bull market, like I'll take the breakout play, but if there's like something's wrong when this is happening, when the market's doing this.
Yeah, I mean, so it's funny you say that because if you look at like a chart of like the Chinese stocks, they kind of did this the same way, Baba and Baidu, for like 2 years. If you go to like a weekly and look longer, and they look like they broke some shorter term trends here and there, and then they went nowhere. See, like they kind of look like, back in November of end of 22, they kind of broke and then went sideways and up going lower. It can kind of be a trap.
Yeah, it's like right here you have a downtrend. You're like, oh, it broke. No, it didn't. And then down here, like, oh, downtrend. Oh, look, it broke out and it's back testing, and then it just does it
and
again.
If you keep scrolling to the right, it did that for a while. So
yeah, and once it started basing, it's like
correct.
Then,
you need a base, and then you kind of need some higher lows over those yearly highs, which we finally got above 120, and then you start to get some upside where you get the momentum.
I like this look a lot better than just a breakdown.
Yeah, like the time to get in it is when you get those moves higher, and then that first pullback, like in July, that was a time to enter that one right there. Now you got a nice base where support's 120. So I guess on CRM, what I would say is you got a breakout. I'd like to see, it back. But if you look to where we rallied to, we kind of rallied right to that 260 level. You might have to go to a weekly, look a little. Yeah, but like we're kind of like right in there. There's a lot of traffic, a lot of overhead supply, and we kind of faded from that area. So, I mean, short-term trade, I'd like to see some strength. Maybe if it comes back down into like 250 or something, maybe a little bit lower.
Yeah.
To maybe and see what it does at the 250 area before I'd jump on it.
Rizzo brought up Amazon. Amazon earnings are next week. I bought some here because I figured it's the 200-day and it's Amazon. I don't really want to do anything with this until earnings. If you're like Rizzo, you've already built a position, then you're fine.
Average is 221.
The only concern I have with Amazon, big picture, is what do they say about the consumer? Because outside of AWS and stuff, there's still going to be a consumer component on consumer spending, and what are they looking for the holiday quarter and the fourth quarter and stuff like that. So there could be some weight in there because it's still consumer discretionary to some degree. So we got to keep that in mind. But the chart just looks, I mean, the last 4 months is just kind of garbage. You're going nowhere. A lot of malaise. So it could set up. You get a good pop, on earnings, and it sets it back up to the upside. Might have something there.
Yeah. I have no fundamental reason for being long Amazon.
Well, you could say Amazon's cheaper now than it was 5 years ago, trading at.
And it's the lagger of the tech stocks too. I mean, Amazon's had a terrible year relative to the market.
Yeah, iRobot. You could argue. I don't like that it put in a base forever and then fell off, and it's just sitting under that base. I don't like that. You could say it's trying to reclaim like a 200-day moving average, but I feel like we saw this story play out a few times already. and not work out very well. I don't know the fundamentals behind iRobot, but I don't like this chart really. I mean, I don't know the fundamentals from like the actual like numbers and numbers. The story is just it's a tough story because you're getting new electronic stuff right and left every day with new technology too. So that, yeah, I don't know if anybody else has anything to add, but that's not my favorite.
Nah, just another chart that's, I mean, I don't like stuff where moving averages are above. You know, you got some shorter term ones below you, but you know, if you want to trade it for a day trade or swing trade on the weekly or something, maybe, but
I mean, is this a monthly? Look at this monthly chart. It's just
yeah,
disgusting.
just killed. The problem with some of these stocks, and this is a good point to bring up for people that are new, is when you get into trading these, you know, these stocks that go down 60, 70, 80%, sure, can they pop at some points? Of course they can. You saw it with, you know, Beyond Meat the other day, right? Just out of control. But is it a long-term strategy? No, you got to trade the stuff that has more liquidity, that, you know, you can kind of see a little bit more structure in the trade than trying to trade these, in my opinion. You get whipped around in these a lot, and it can hurt you. I just think there's better stuff to trade. There's better opportunities.
EMNR?
EMNR.
Nobody asked for that one.
No, this is objective. At one point, I'll bring it up at the stream.
Well, we talked about it yesterday. It did hold like that kind of last final spot for now, but it's in no man's land. Underneath this, you need back over like 52, and you lost the trend line.
Hey, I got one for you. Go ahead.
Here, let's hit. Hold on, let me hit ETH real fast because this one we talked about yesterday. I saw this triangle drawn on here. ETH pushed today. Look, it tried to get under this. It held. Rejected the 9 Uber. NVIDIA tweet collaborating with Uber. NVIDIA Uber autonomous vehicle partnership. Oba.
I'm long some NQs again.
Is that the 1 day chart, or what am I looking at here? 15-minute. What was the headline? I spaced out.
NVIDIA just tweeted.
Oh, I see it. Okay. There we go. I mean, that makes sense.
Or risk 20 handles. They didn't even come fill me 260. Only filled me on a couple at 262s.
Come on, push it.
SPXs are still working. The 0 days are 50%.
Need 50 points higher in the Qs.
Make it worth a trim.
All right, send Uber back to 100.
Hey, pull up Meta real quick and let's look at the kind of intraday, because that thing dropped a ton off the highs today. Almost $8-9.
Yes, I noticed it this morning while the market was pushing. Meta was weak. It just filled the gap of yesterday's close right there. You see my thing lit up orange.
Yeah, it is. So if you look back, we talked about that consolidation for the last like week, maybe 2 weeks.
Right there.
Yeah.
Let me go to the daily.
Yeah. You had this balance area. I mean, we've rejected it again under the 735. That's 3 days.
Yeah.
Had this, yeah, wicking up there and closing back below that kind of 730 area. I mean, obviously got earnings coming, but surprised that we faded that much on that one today.
They're all chasing Tesla instead.
Tesla on the daily, if we close up here, you don't want to get a hanging man up there either. Got a big hammer. on the daily chart. Oh,
Yeah,
on the
you really
weekly.
want
Excuse
Tesla
me,
to
on the
close up.
weekly. Yeah, on the weekly
Yeah.
chart. Excuse me.
Well, if you get Tesla to close up here and
Yeah.
any type of follow through tomorrow, watch what this weekly is going to look like.
Big hammer. Yep.
It's a big hammer. If you get any type of follow through tomorrow, and even if it could be, I think as long as you just close above where you opened, if you close at 445 or higher, looks
Be
good.
nice to get it over 450 if they can do that tomorrow. Tomorrow, it's actually a good point to talk about tomorrow because we got some important data that could move the markets in a big way that we have not had. We got CPI coming out tomorrow.
36.99 por el kit mini antes 49,000.
Yeah, and if you notice today, bonds are actually a bit weaker and yields are higher kind of across the whole curve. Part of that is due to Russia with oil, a little inflation, rearing its head if oil goes higher with Russia. But yeah, we got some CPI data, core inflation, and month over month, obviously core looking up 3.1. I'm in the camp that this comes in maybe a little light, and I'll tell you why. Oil's been obviously trading lower. The other two things that I watch is housing, month over month, and used cars, because that's a big piece of core, those two. And used cars were down a little bit, and housing seems to be relatively flat, and it's lagging. So core may come in on the lighter side tomorrow, maybe a 10th or 2.
There you go. Him's getting over the pre-market highs. Yeah, the CPI is going to be super interesting tomorrow. I heard, Evan, were you reading Spanish?
Yeah, I was reading the ad that you got down below.
Yeah, they're just getting some free promo on our stream right now. We're off
Starlink. Yeah, shout out Starlink. Let's go real
don't we know
partnership here.
somewhere? Doesn't one of our partners let you buy some Starlink shares? Let's turn their ad into our ad.
Yeah, Jarcy.
That didn't look like new news, this NVIDIA thing. It looks like it's just like it's a white paper that they're announcing. And I was like all excited to post the video, but it was a GIF, so I don't know. Good quote retweet.
Can we push these Qs a little bit? Come on.
Don't you know? Pump it up.
Yeah, I really want us to take out the previous session high here. I would love to see this magnet SPX 6750 get drawn to today after 6700 yesterday. And a close up there would be very good.
I'm looking on the hourly on the Qs. You got a little bit of a downtrend that we're fighting right here. From
There's another quantum computer headline right now. The U.S. is weighing investment. What a back and forth saga right now.
It was up 12% RGTI. Wow. It's these names. These are perfect names. You got to be very nimble because if you're not, it's had a 6% move, 7% move since the news earlier, and now here we're back up another 6% from the lows of the day. You can really get chopped up. I did catch a nice little short in there earlier, but I took that off towards the session lows.
It's the same headline I'm hearing over and over today, by the way. U.S. deliberations on quantum in early stages, people say. This is described by people familiar with talks. And we've got someone familiar with talks that said the other thing today, wrote an article on it, and has sources at the White House. So I don't know who you guys want to believe, but I'm going to go with the person that's talking to White House sources. But we'll see. The video made a new high of day marginally. Right there. Oh, is Uber going? I might have pulled a degen move here. Uber. Oh yeah, I was gonna pull up SPX. Wow, we basically got to 67.50.
Yeah, I'm sitting in some 67.50s right now. Banked on the 40s.
I heard you taking those earlier. Uh-oh,
Jordan.
super chat.
Run W's, baby. We got a
W's
super
for the
chat.
super chat. Yo,
Run
what's up, guys? My
W's.
SPY and QQQ puts paid yesterday. They
Let's
did pay.
go.
Absolutely. You got paid so nice yesterday. Boy, once it fell off that cliff, like it bounced up and just fell off the cliff here yesterday. That was so beautiful.
So bored,
Just
need a
like,
tape
it went
off.
vroom.
Yeah.
Shout out to T Jizzle.
Yeah, let's go.
Super chat. ATH. ATH path. NVIDIA buyout target.
Oh boy. That means power hour starting.
Well, I'm glad that goes off.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Evan's going to be late. What are you doing over there, Rizzo?
Appreciate you all. Obviously, that alarm is also my alarm. Go give this stream a like, subscribe if you guys are already subscribed. Hit that bell button. We'll give you notifications when we go live. We appreciate you.
Have a good one, Evan.
And these guys are excited. This useless biomass, I love it. These guys are excited for $2. Been a bad
Well,
day.
we're excited for the super chat, you know?
It's building. We gotta
We're
give the
building.
hype.
We're
This
building.
guy yesterday was with the backhand diss to both you guys in one.
I know.
This guy, shit talker.
It's a love-hate relationship with biomass, but I like him in chat.
I'll see you guys in stocks and spaces.
Oh, there's another one. Let's go. Tomorrow is FAFO day, but I'm gonna do 0 DTE. This guy.
FAFO Friday.
FAFO Friday, man.
Let's
That's
give it all
technically
back
not
tomorrow.
a 0
W's.
DTE if he's doing it today, but he's gonna do it.
No,
All right.
No, he said
Yeah.
he's gonna FAFO tomorrow.
He's gonna
I got some
FAFO.
profits to work with. Somebody said
Yeah.
FAFO the other day, and I was like, it just.
And you were
got
like,
It wasn't right.
like that
Well,
chalkboard feeling.
ah,
That
Okay.
Uber headline just hit Bloomberg wires.
what's the Uber headline?
NVIDIA's working with Uber on autonomous driving.
Oh, of course. Let's see here. Ooh, they're getting a nice
Wait,
pump off that headline.
Yeah. How many times are we going to get these just big moves in the morning that just go sideways and like trail upward the rest of the day?
Well, VIX is getting crushed, so just how it goes.
That's a good point. Is it under 18 yet?
It's been under 18.
17.12.
Wow.
Yeah. Get ready for those 10-point range days.
Let's go. Let's get back to the 25-point SPY days or whatever. Yes.
All right, guys. Talk to you later.
Later, Sam.
See you, Sam.
Later.
Yeah, this is going to be more and more chop. If we keep the VIX down there, just slow days. Further we go north, we get that positive gamma as well, kind of softens the moves.
You're gonna faffle with little profits from this week. Let's go. Oh, Jordan.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie.
Come on.
Daily payouts is nice. Just like taking payouts whenever I want is nice.
Which one is that? Is that
I'm on a my funded.
my funded?
Just like you have a big day, you just want that right away. Cha-ching. It's been a while since I've been like in the position to do that because I haven't traded. Like last time I was trading a normal account was my options account. It's been a while. Fax biomass.
Bro, Rizzo, what are you saying?
What's Rizzo doing over there? What's he plotting on?
Rizzo's an old soul in a young body.
Yeah.
Boy, NVIDIA's still strong.
I think we're going to float. Hopefully we float a little higher here.
Netflix had a nice recovery. Meta, yesterday's close bouncing. Costco was weak this morning, so was Walmart after they had a nice push yesterday, and they've worked their way back. Broadcom, nice little push here. But Amazon's tight.
I got a journal. I haven't journaled yet.
Cloudflare, this one looks good right now, but I was looking at this one on the bigger time frame. It's starting to get a little interesting. You see all these bottom wicks down here under the 50-day? It's got earnings next Thursday, though. This is the problem. I have so many charts. I kind of like how that's setting up, but the earnings are coming. Uber rejected right at the 20-day. I wonder if it can get through tomorrow. Snowflake looks pretty good. I was looking at this one earlier.
Yeah, next week from CPI all the way to the earnings next week and the Fed meeting, and then Trump with Xi and China. I mean, next week's gonna be crazy.
Next Wednesday is my favorite day for trading. Jordan knows my plan. I have a 100% success strategy for trading on FOMC.
Yeah, it's an amazing strat.
Literally have not ever lost. I'll put a thread on it, I'm sure, at some point. Somebody mentioned MSTR. MSTR Paper Games was on here about what, 2 weeks ago, calling out this broadening. Or there. Oh wow, Lucid is actually popping. How is Lucid back to 19 bucks? What a dumper of a stock. Good lord. I do not like MSTR at all.
I'm YOLOing some NDXs.
Oh yeah?
Which ones do I do? I think 150 might be too far out.
Like 125s?
Come on, we need a little lift.
Oh my god, they're running away.
Did you look at gold today? I think gold's up about 2%. 41.51.
I saw it move like in pre-market.
Yeah, just kind of basing out here after the big flush down to almost 4,000.
No, they won't get me on the bid. I'll just hold the SPXs, I guess. Go, decent little push. Give me 295 on NQ.
Oh, let's go, Brent. 1,200 bucks, slept in, and then worked the main job all day. Let's go.
I do want to hear
Not
what,
enough W's in the chat before. Yeah, we need more than 2 people running W's in the chat when we get super chats, y'all. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable. I used to have like a whole 17 people in my stream, and the chat was going nuts with W's. Unacceptable. Come on.
Guys, I've got Jennifer about to come on Socks on Spaces. Do you guys want me to play that on here so you can hear what she says about this quantum stuff? Enough people care, I can play that on here. You guys are following the quantum story.
You're good, Brent. You know the deal how it was on my stream, though. We're running that back on here. Every time we get that super chat, spam it. W. Precisely, Evan.
Come on, give me a move into end of the day. Get going. Let's end the day with a little spike, and then we can long the spike tonight.
Oh, there we go, Tommy. Yeah, look at that. All these W's now. I love it. There we go. Don't worry, guys. Soon, I know how it was on my stream. I had the W emoji. Don't worry. We'll get that on here soon. I'll make sure that happens. We got to get some emojis for y'all. That'll be even more fun.
Tech's still kind of pushing this late afternoon.
That is getting a nice bounce off that area.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see it close above that 735, 736 area, at least from that consolidation. It's almost like a back test. It broke out, now it's back testing it.
All right. Filled some 25 130s at 8.6. Finally got me on the bid. SPXs are still break even.
I'm going to share this.
It's coming up next week, even though that
You
is the
guys
part
hear
of the
that?
government shutdown that's stopping. I don't know if there was a
Right.
thought that you maybe thought you weren't going to have, you were going to get a day off or something.
But so that's what we were going to talk
rest for the
about.
weary.
You hear that, Jordan?
Obviously, though, there's been a lot of quantum headlines going on, and I pinned it up in the nest above. You wrote an article about this. Yahoo Finance got some exclusive takes on it. I wanted to hear the latest, or at least what you're hearing from your sources on all of these quantum headlines. It was a little bit confusing. There was a lot of back and forth between different headlines over the last 12 hours or so.
Yeah, thanks so much, Evan. Yeah, that's right. The Wall Street Journal reported, I guess, earlier this morning that the White House was looking at taking equity stakes in some quantum computing companies. However, I learned, and I cannot reveal my sources because I agreed to not reveal them at this point, but that the administration is not necessarily considering taking equity stakes in quantum computing companies. And the Commerce Department actually just outright smacked it down, telling me that they are not currently negotiating equity stakes with quantum computing companies. However, I did learn that there could be other options that are on the table, right? It could be warrants, it could be loans. Apparently, the president is looking at how to best get a return for taxpayers. And this is going to be through money that would be left over from the Trump administration's overhaul of the Biden administration CHIPS Act. So it's something to watch. I was told that the companies have approached the administration, not the other way around. I don't know. I haven't talked to the companies specifically if they're spinning it a different way. But at this point, the administration is not jumping on to do this at this point. And I was told that they're getting a lot of pitches from a lot of companies. So maybe it's not just the quantum area.
Okay, that was very interesting. So, but part of it, it does sound like there are some discussions going on. It's just not about it being equity stakes. It's more, I read in the article, grants and warrants and different things like that.
Right, exactly. There could be, that's why the way it was couched to me, it's not necessarily something, right? So there could be other options other than equity stakes.
Based on your research, would you be surprised if it turned into equity stakes, or is it kind of
No, I wouldn't at
that far
all,
up in the air?
because
Okay.
the president changes his mind. I think it depends what the structure and the nature of the deal and the return on that is going to be. I mean, obviously we've seen the administration strike a number of deals in terms of equity stakes with various companies. Intel was obviously the poster child. There was the U.S. Steel deal with Japan's Nippon Steel. We saw the Defense Department, I think, take a stake in some other companies as well, right? Rare earths. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were to do a U-turn at this point, but right now that doesn't seem to be the route that they are taking at this point.
Was there any mentions of any companies or anything like
I
that?
see
I know
Amazon
there
getting a
was.
breakout.
Let me know there. What have you heard about some? Because in the Wall Street Journal article, there was some specifics mentioned.
Right.
Specific names.
Right. So I was told that they're not the deals that they're looking at, the White House, are not necessarily with those companies that are mentioned in the Wall Street Journal.
Interesting. I do wonder if anyone else has any thoughts around these kind of quantum stock stories that have been going on. I know, Jennifer.
Yeah, I have a question. How do we get to a point where these stories are, leaking or where do these headlines come from?
I can't vouch for the Wall Street Journal, but I can vouch that I always go to try to confirm whether reports are true or not with appropriate point persons in the administration. And I do not report on hearsay, so I will just say that I'm going to let my reporting stand.
That's crazy. I just don't even, because I'm not saying anything. I'm more just like, how do we go from credible, story to immediately gets denied within 12 hours? I'm so confused.
Well, it depends who the people are talking to. Like if you're talking to a lobbyist or something who may have heard something from someone else, maybe then the communications get garbled. some of these companies have said, yeah, no, we're talking to the administration. Just because you submitted application and the administration says, thanks, we're looking at this, so we'll take a look at it. I don't know if that constitutes, right? So it depends how it's being spun. But again, I can't talk for other outlets.
The prevailing sentiment on Twitter, because we are all on finance Twitter, and we, watch the Trump back and forth, snip, snap, tariff talk, blah, blah, blah. He walks back everything in 2 seconds, and he, basically wrecks or makes your trading day just from a tweet. The prevailing sentiment that I keep seeing is people saying someone in the inner circle holds a lot of quantum names and they needed to get out after the. So I just find that pretty funny. And honestly, nothing in this world feels far-fetched to me anymore, because we've seen kind of some of these moves that happen, and it's just like, what is even going on?
Well, we know the president likes to negotiate, right? And we know that he'll do it to some extent within the public eye, and the administration will put trial balloons out in different news sources just to see how it goes over, and then maybe change depending on reaction. So, this is the world we live in now.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I remember a bunch of that happening back in the tariff days. I forgot which one was a big one, but I posted about it, and I remember I gotta look back and see what that tweet was about.
Okay, yeah.
I want to also ask around the Jerome Powell of all of this. We have CPI coming out tomorrow morning. Someone asked if CPI is coming out tomorrow. The question, it is, right?
It is coming out. Remember, it was delayed because, well, first of all, we're still in the government shutdown. So technically, we shouldn't be getting any data at this point. But the Bureau of Labor Statistics recalled furloughed workers to work on this report because it is an input to figure out
we're about to get to Trump
the
Live,
cost
too.
of
I'll
living
probably just play
changes
that
for
next.
Social Security payments. And the statute, the law, requires that be posted before November 1st, which is why we're going to be getting this tomorrow, albeit delayed. So they will have one piece of critical data as they go into their policy meeting next week, but it does put them in a bit of an awkward position because clearly Chair Powell has said, and the Fed has said, and he reiterated this last week, that the downside risks to the job side of their dual mandate have risen. And so they are flying blind because they don't have the September jobs report. So while they have one side, they're going to have one piece of information as it relates to one side of their dual mandate. They're not going to have the other. And they've had to rely on private sector data like EDP and anecdotal surveys and evidence collected from, for instance, the Beige Book to try to fill in that picture. And Chair Powell said last week that not much has changed. And so we kind of all took that to believe that, okay, the Fed is on course to cut rates. And so, yes, we're going to get a CPI report tomorrow. I'm not sure it's going to change the trajectory much, though, for now.
What a job you're doing. And thank you very much for that. We want to begin by thanking the people that have done such a great job at the White House. They have been doing really incredible work during a shutdown.
The big bad. The big bad. I'm here to wreck it all.
For that very much. And
Here to wreck it all.
Discuss a sweeping, unprecedented,
This could be
successful operation that my administration.
This could be Venezuela cartel stuff.
Remove members of foreign drug cartels from American soil, and the people gathered around this table are the ones that are doing it, and in this room. Some of them sitting a little behind. In fact, some of them, I'm surprised, are not actually at the table. You people should be very insulted by that, but you've done a great job back there. On my first day in office earlier this year, I signed an executive order to officially designate the drug cartels and savage transnational gangs as foreign terrorist organizations. It was my honor to do so. And on that same day, I also signed an order directing the creation of the Homeland Security Task Force to bring together all federal, state, and local partners to achieve the national policy goal of eliminating the cartel presence in America once and for all. And the results are, and it's early, and the results are spectacular.
Trump is the magic 8 ball.
This task
Jordan.
force includes the Department of Justice, the Department of War,
Let's see what I got.
DHS,
What do you
the
got?
Intelligence
Where's
Community,
mine? I have mine.
ATF, The
Okay, guys, ready?
DEA, the U.S.
TSLY.
Marshals,
TSLY?
and the
I'm
state
not
and
kidding.
local
No way.
agencies in every
If
part
I
of
get
our
it
country.
too,
Other than that, we
it's
don't
a
include too
sign,
many
guys.
people.
You ready? Let's see.
That's a hell of a
You can
group,
see
isn't it? Hey, when you
TSLY.
think of it, that's not a group you want against you. Certainly not at one time.
ANZY.
In addition to the task force members, we're pleased to be joined by
ANZY.
representatives
That's
of
what I got.
law enforcement at every level, the highest
Hold that
level,
just a
actually,
little
but
bit
every
there.
level, including National President of the Fraternal Order of Police, Patrick Yos. Where's Patrick? Patrick, thank you, Patrick. Thank you for the endorsement, too. That really hit it off. I would have
This,
gotten 98% anyway,
this
but
is
it
interesting.
was still good to have your endorsement. Thank you, Patrick. I don't forget those things. President of the National Sheriff's Association, Chris West. Chris? Thank you, Chris, very much. Great, good job. Major Cities Chief Association Executive Director, Laura Cooper. Laura? Thank you, Laura, very much. Major County Sheriffs of America Executive Director, Megan Noland. Megan, thank you. Thank you very much. And President of the National Border Patrol Council, my friend, and a very good speaker, by the way. Whenever he gets up and speaks, I say, that guy can really speak. I don't know. I don't want him to run for office. I want him to stay where he is. Paul Perez. Paul. Thank you, Paul. Where is Paul? Hi, Paul. What are you doing over there, Paul? Good job. Good speaker you are, though, Paul. I mean it, too. You've made some incredible speeches, and all from the heart, too, right? Some great ones. Today, you'll hear details from my national security and homeland security teams about the extraordinary historic achievements of this new Homeland Security Task Force since it became fully operational last month in all 50 states, the job they're doing. What we inherited from this past administration is like disgraceful. In a matter of weeks, the task force has made the largest number of arrests of cartel leaders, operatives, and gang members in American history, more than 3,000 and counting. That includes members of the ultra-violent New Generation Cartel, the Sinaloa Cartel, the LNFM Cartel, MS-13 Cartel, and you know MS-13, the gang, and Tren de Aragua, another beauty. That's a group of real garbage we have to deal with, that we shouldn't have to deal with. These are, in addition to the massive numbers of dangerous criminals my administration arrested nationwide since January 20th, numbering over 120,000. It's a record, and 120,000 criminal arrests. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, for 4 long years before I took office, the last administration allowed the cartels and their operatives to frankly take over our country, to freely infiltrate America and all the communities nationwide. Along with transnational gangs, these groups have unleashed more bloodshed and killing on American soil than all other terrorist groups combined. These are the worst of the worst. It should now be clear to the entire world that the cartels are the ISIS of the Western Hemisphere, in addition to their monstrous violence, such as cutting off heads, burning their enemies alive, and burning innocent people alive, too, by the way. The cartels control large swaths of territory. They maintain vast arsenals of weapons and soldiers, and they use extortion, murder, kidnapping to exercise political and economic control. Thank you very much, Joe Biden, for allowing that to happen. Biden surrendered he just surrendered our country to the cartels. Don't worry, it gets better. We're taking it back. It's really fast at levels that nobody's ever seen before. But what we had to put up with, what we inherited, was just a disgrace. And while Biden was president, if he was president, I think the Autopen was president, not Biden, nearly 100% of those who infiltrated our southern border did so because they were personally approved. They admitted they
If
were...
the upside's done,
they were
this MOC just comes in and saves it.
Assisted by the most dangerous and violent criminal
you're starting to get some
organizations
fade in the
anywhere on the
breath,
planet. The
little
worst
bit.
people on the planet
Yeah,
they
it
allowed
looks like it's
into
stuttering out.
our beautiful country. Under the Trump
Amazon to get a
administration,
nice
we're
break
finally
here on some volume.
treating the cartels as the core national security threat that they really are. The cartels are waging war on America, and just as I promised in the campaign, we're waging war on them like they've never seen before. All you have to do is turn on your television and you'll see what's happening to them. Past administrations have tried to mitigate this threat, and our objective is to eliminate it. We're not mitigating, we're eliminating, we're getting them out. The bad ones we're putting in prison. We hate to do that because that means we're stuck with them for 50 years or more. In recent weeks, our Homeland Security Task Force has seized more than 70 tons of deadly narcotics, along with more than 1,000 illegal guns. And that's just recently. This is already the most successful anti-cartel and anti-gang operation in American history, and it's just getting started. We have incredible people. A lot of them are in this room with us today, and it's an honor to have them. But we're going to not stop until the threat has been fully and completely eradicated. I want to thank task force members with us today, including a person who's doing a fantastic job, Attorney General Pam Bondi. Thank you, Pam. Thank you. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. Sounds so much better than Secretary of Defense. I don't know. Do you guys agree
just a
with
little
that?
less push, Trump.
We won the First World War, the Second
Trump, just
World
hit the
War.
offer a couple times.
Everything
Yeah,
before,
get on the
everything in
bid,
between.
Trump.
And then we got woke, and we said, well, let's call it defense. I think we like it this way
Butterfly to
better.
rant. I need
It's funny,
25 points to
that's
make it a
something
lot
that
of
would be
it.
maybe controversial, and it's only controversial that we changed the name in the first place. It's not controversial at all. It's been unbelievably well accepted, Pete. Hasn't it, right? It's been pretty amazing. I thought it would be controversial. People want to have our country back. People want to do exactly what we're doing right now. We're getting a lot of credit for it, and we should. I want to thank, though, Pete. You're doing a great job. Pete Hegseth. Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem.
The press conference
Kristi,
is about
thank you very
cartels,
much.
is what he's talking
Director
about.
of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, I just
Tulsi,
want to.
good job.
You never know
And the heads of all of the
if he's going to
law
announce some
enforcement
action against
agencies all throughout
Venezuela
the
or
room. You're
something.
really amazing, the job
That could
you've
send
done.
this market into.
To provide additional details on our
His-
mission, I would like also to ask General
about
Bondi
China? You think he's
say
gonna
a
say
few
China?
words, followed by Secretary Noem, Secretary
Uh,
Hegseth,
Only
Director
if
Gabbard,
they
Homeland Security
open this
Advisor
to
Stephen Miller.
Q&A, because then
Stephen,
anything's on
you're
the
such
table
a
with Q&A.
superstar, Stephen. They called Stephen the other day a very bad name, and I said, you should sue them, Stephen. I think he will. I hope he does. FBI Director Kash Patel and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. And I just want to say it's an honor, the job we're doing.
Somebody's short.
And these people are doing absolutely incredible.
Volume
I'll just add
picking
a
up on
couple
the
of
sell-off
things.
on
In
SPY.
Memphis, as you know, where the numbers are down in half already, and it's only been about 2 weeks. You're doing a fantastic job there. Thank you.
Yeah, kind of into yesterday's
Incredible.
highs.
Nobody thought it was possible. It was really a
67.49
sick
area.
city. It was
67.50.
horrible what happened there. People would go from, if you're on the board of FedEx, they would ride you 1 block to the hotel. They said you couldn't walk it because it was too dangerous. And they're already feeling better about it. But the best example right now is Washington, D.C. We went from one of the most unsafe places in the planet, I hate to say, but in this country, to a totally safe city. It's nothing's crime-free, I guess, but this is about as close to crime-free as you're going to get. And you guys have done an incredible job with that. Every one of you have worked so hard on this one, and it's our nation's capital. And people would go to the nation, they'd go from, I always say, Iowa, Indiana. They'd go from Florida, they'd come up, they want to see the monument, I want to see the Lincoln Memorial, I want to see one of the monuments, any one of them, and they'd go home in a coffin. But not anymore, it's not happening anymore. We haven't had that happen in a long time. It was averaging more than one a week, one person a week. Who would think that's possible? And it hasn't happened anymore, and we have a safe city. We have a city where the restaurants are booming. People are going out. Nobody's being mugged, hit over the head with a baseball bat. None of the stuff is gone. We took out 1,700 criminals, many of them career criminals, many of them given to us by Joe Biden and his ridiculous open borders policy. They came in from jails from all over the world, not just South America, from all over the world. Jails, they came in from mental institutions and insane asylums all over the world. Drug dealers.
Just lost the 21.
We got them the hell out of here. They're either that, or if they're so bad, as I said before,
I had a
we put
couple
them in
more
jail because we can't
NQs
take a chance and they
right below
come back.
260.
But I want to just say that Washington, D.C. is such an example of what could be done. And now the same thing's happening in Memphis. We're just halfway through the process, and already the numbers are far superior, far better than what we would have thought at this time. And Chicago, I just saw the number last week. It was last weekend. 4 were murdered, 11 were shot. And then I have this guy Pritzker, is a very weak governor. Let me be nice. I'm going to be very nice. He's extremely weak. He's pathetic. I have Pritzker get up and say how great they're doing in Chicago. They're doing very poorly. So 4 were murdered, 11 were shot. I would say, and that was not a bad week for him. Okay, that was not a bad week. He's had somewhere 18 or 19 were murdered. And you know what his excuse was? Yeah, but that was a long weekend. Okay, can you believe it? He said that was a long weekend. He's bad. And the mayor is worse. I mean, that mayor is worse. Low IQ, very low IQ. And we don't need low IQ people. We need people that are going to take care. And I love Chicago, and I love those beautiful women.
You still hear it?
Black women, beautiful women wearing MAGA hats.
Yeah.
And they're all over the place in Chicago.
I can hear myself.
They want protection.
Figured out how
They
to
don't
share
care
my
if it's a
desktop
national
audio. I
guard.
don't have any trades going
it's
on
the
right now, so
The only thing is sharing desktop audio.
Marines, they'll take Space
Everybody
Force.
else
Okay?
can hear
Space Force, send them in.
themselves.
They couldn't. They just don't want to be mugged, killed, raped,
Is it
shot in the
echoing?
head. And we
Only
stop
when
it.
I
So
talk,
we're gonna
but
be given a very special. We're going to give Chicago very special care. As you probably know, maybe you
on,
big
Mike,
surge in San Francisco, but got a great call from some incredible people, some friends of mine, very successful people. Mark, who's everybody knows him, and Jensen, everybody knows Jensen, NVIDIA, and others called me from San Francisco, and they said,
All right, he's not saying anything. We are rolling here. I asked you guys if it was echoing. That's why I turned it back off.
It was, yeah.
We're tanking here into earnings. The funny thing is, Trump said NVIDIA, and NVIDIA sold off.
Just a light fade into the close here, maybe?
I hope not.
I am hoping to be live on camera stream once I get this new PC set up. Full.
There we go.
Let's go.
Brand new build, brand new computer, big, nice new workspace.
Is it a Dell?
No. Custom
Better
built.
What?
5070.
So are we long Micron then?
Shout out to NVIDIA.
You got Micron in there? For your
Got
RAM?
an MSI board with an AMD processor.
Okay. I like those.
Horizon.
What's your RAM though? Who did your RAM?
Rip Jaws. 64.
Oh, okay. Rip Jaws.
Fastest latency out there.
Gosh, hood up 6%. Wow. I'm not doing anything.
This looks.
We're fading AMD here,
into the
230
close.
under 233 almost.
You said AMD?
Yeah, they've kind of sold it off the highs up there at 235, back down, going below 233 roughly. Well, my butterfly is not going to pay, it doesn't look like, but free trade. A little bit of credit there.
Always nice when you have 0 as the bottom.
Yep.
I mean, to me, this is a trend day. I don't really want to try to fade this. I mean, yeah, maybe you can get a little bit of a fade to here, but unless he
I'm
says
not
something,
sure.
how much of a fade are you gonna get?
I don't know. Into the close, it's always get a little. The last 10 minutes can always be a little erratic.
I played one. I took
man.
one trade today. Single trade.
I took 2.
Single entry, single exit. Done.
Did last night count when I text you 10 times about the gap fill?
I know I missed the
Does that
gap fill
count?
last night. I was pissed.
That Tesla, I took a little Tesla runner over 430 once we filled that low end of the yesterday's low retest, and boom, that was crazy.
We finally got like a decent gap, and I miss it, bro.
I clipped the first half around that 438 level, but I didn't ride it like bully. He was on. That was crazy. Still good trade.
Goes Amazon.
Yeah, we do have that SMT at highs, Tommy. We never took New York session on NQ. New York session high from yesterday. It's true. I think that ends up getting ran through, though, given the higher time frame narrative. I think we're going right to all-time highs on the bigger time frame.
Caught some decent trades today. Nothing crazy, but all green.
Wall Street Journal says the U.S. flew Air Force B-1 bombers near Venezuela.
Dude, what are we going to attack them? They're just going to rug the market from here?
I could see us trading down to the bottom of this range we're in and take out these 4-hour candle lows.
Well, like 247 and then bounce?
You know,
yeah, 245 there and then sweep those lows there.
Pull the VIX daily up real quick, the spot. We do got a little bit of like, if you kind of look, there's like a shelf on the VIX right at this like 1730 area. Kind of all those highs across. Kind of look back to the left. You kind of got you got a bunch of highs in there that we're kind of coming into. You know, we ripped up and now we're coming back and testing kind of where it broke out from originally, right around this level. Not saying it's anything, but
Hot up here. Well, I'm glad I got those 2 trades and just stopped.
Yeah, me too.
Amazon, nice little push into close here. Still has room to go to fill the gap it left the other day. It's Costco in.
Tomorrow we're going to get some two-sided action on the CPI, I think.
I hope it just rips to new all-time high.
That would be great. If it's soft, I think we go higher, and bonds will go higher. Rates probably come down, and that should probably help tech. And if it's a hot number, might need to. That could be a little scary if it comes in too hot. I don't expect that, but I'm not sure where it would come in hot from because oil's been relatively low. I mean, I don't know how much gold's going to play into that because gold was so much higher, but
see this on oil?
Yeah. Look at that triangle. Decision time. I think on the daily, though, if you look at the daily chart of crude, I do like this. We're kind of pushing right back to the bottom of that 61.50, 62 range where we've been.
100. Right there.
Yeah, we tagged it this morning.
Short it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the camp of I sold some calls up at 67.50 and 68. A little bit further out, 29 days, but I like that as a. Usually, it seems like all these every time there's sanctions or something, we get a big pop and it just gets sold.
Fades.
It always seems to fade. And the juice, you get some volatility in there on the news. You know, they kind of pump the premium up in the calls.
I don't know if you're gonna like this answer, Jay, but Ethereum looks like this.
M is for murder.
I mean, it looks bounce off the same trend, lower high. Reject the 9 EMA today at the high. It looks like tomorrow it wants to. I don't know.
I'm with you.
It's here.
I'll be your bull brother.
You're long what?
I'll long ETH with them.
You're gonna long Ethereum?
No way.
I like a short below that base, really. Rizzo, what do you think?
Yeah, if it starts breaking, yeah, there's no point in being long it, but I just bought a couple hundred ETH.
What does not look like a chart I want to long?
Oh, shut off cash
No.
by 500.
Looks heavy.
All right, 300 will do.
Bitcoin looks okay. It's kind of nowhere.
Yeah, if we keep chopping down and to the right, though, it makes me a little nervous for a rotation back to the lower end of this balance from like 112 down to 110, really. Or 106. What is that? 107. Poor man covered calls. I mean, they're fine. I mean, you know, I think there's, you know, if you have long stock and you know, you want to sell calls against them, you can do that. It's one way to do it. I mean, obviously it's capital efficient if you're just long a call and you're selling against it, or you're buying something that's, you know, you can buy, you know, 250 delta calls, give you 100 deltas and sell some calls up above it. I mean, anytime you get stocks that are, you know, kind of at the high end of the range or they're overbought, you could always sell call premium.
I got flattened NQ 240.
Oh, wow. They pulled it.
All right. Ending the day, what, plus 440 on NQ? Yeah, I just gave up 5K on fucking SPX and NDX, though. I was up.
It's just MOC. It's
11.
Nothing. You tell me not to buy it right here for a bounce.
67 quarter, they might fade it to. We did close at, I think, 67.35 a couple days ago on the dot. 2 days. Did we not? Or pretty close. It's a Tuesday, I think we closed there, right at that 67.35 on the cash SPX. We did.
Bloop.
Alrighty, gotta wrap it up. What do I want to do tonight?
I'm just surprised you're not swing long from right here.
I don't know, like 60 points drawdown. I'd be okay with it.
230 swing long. You were swing long from 230 the other day. Now you don't like it?
Not really. No, it's long from like 180, 190. I think.
Watch, we're gonna get a like 30-point bounce here.
$67.35. I'm calling the close.
All right, 210s, 180s. I'll be a buyer into tonight, tomorrow.
Must be. Oh, it was $3 billion to sell.
A lot of NQs.
S&P, 1.6 billion on. Yeah, 3 billion on SPY, 1.6 billion on NASDAQ, both to sell. Here comes your bounce. Buy it up, baby.
Yeah, look at them.
We'll look at the Tesla weekly tomorrow because that's going to be a big thing to see tomorrow afternoon. We like to go through those weekly charts, but there is nothing wrong with this Tesla daily right here on this candle.
Yeah.
No, huge day.
You could retrace a decent amount of this and still be fine.
Yeah, no doubt.
Even a 2% drawdown into the EMAs tomorrow with the open would be nice.
Yeah, especially on a good CPI number, you could get a nice ramp. If it's a little soft, it's going to help the market, no doubt.
Like 4.5 billion to sell, and we could only drop 30 points, 40 points. Send it back up, new high of day.
I want to buy it lower.
I'm not going to confirm or deny, but I told you what I thought. I'll just say hypothetically.
I hope these fucks don't take it to high a day after the close. That's what they're gonna do.
Hypothetically, it looks like this.
If it gives me the fills, 210s, 180s, I'll be long sized tonight. Fuck, I don't even know if I have enough margin to put on that much size.
You on portfolio, PM?
What was that?
Portfolio margin?
Mm-hmm. Or features.
Yeah.
Are the premiums jacked up for CPI? I didn't even look this afternoon.
Probably.
I would imagine they gotta be.
Look, new all-time high tomorrow. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, you got about a 4% higher implied volatility on SPX for tomorrow than Monday. So
yeah, we'll catch a 300-point move tomorrow.
$45 expected move in SPX.
Which direction, Rizzo?
We will find out. Expected move tomorrow on NDX is 225.
What's the lotto calls for tomorrow? 615s?
Only 225. That makes sense. I got a 25,500 target on the NQs.
615 QQQ? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm not buying options into CPI. There's no way.
That's,
if anything, I have to buy puts because I want to play some size on the long on NQ. Yeah, let's just do that just in case.
it is interesting how these bonds are setting up into tomorrow because the yields are all higher today.
It just looks like we want to go to all-time high tomorrow.
Did notice the regional
we
banks came way back off the highs today. They did ramp in the middle of the day and they got sold.
It was very like orderly too. You see this? This is a 15-minute. Intel new high of day into their earnings.
I'm gonna throw a little earnings trade in Intel a little. Why not? I'm feeling ballsy. I'm selling calls naked. Bucket.
And I can't put anything on up here, dude.
Dude, they're like 70 cents.
No, I'm saying the NQ long. I want to be long NQ.
Oh. You could put it on right there at 230. Yeah, oil's breaking down. That makes sense. Flow that money right back into tech.
Yep.
I think your overnight drift's a little lower.
CrowdStrike just made a new high of day.
Freaking Asians are gonna sell it.
The Asians are gonna wake up to news that Trump's coming.
Yes, they are.
I finally got filled on the bid on these puts.
Like I said, I'm not gonna confirm or deny anything, but I can tell you, told you what the idea was.
The worst case scenario is it drifts higher and I can't get involved long, and I'm just in puts for no fucking reason.
What do we got? 20 seconds left? Yeah.
I needed to drift 50 points lower.
Well, I was free 30 points, so I wanted it. 20 points, 25, whatever.
Close. Those close 67.38.
I'll start 225.
38, 25,
It's there. Where else do I want to be bid?
I'm going to turn off Trump so I can hear these earnings.
115. Oh, 215, not 115. Anyone reporting tonight?
Intel.
Yep.
Yeah, just take that shit to zero. I'm tired of seeing it.
Ooh, one name that I was short that got decimated today was Sonic Automotive, down 15% on earnings.
$13.6 million or $1 billion on revenue. Adjusted earnings 23 cents on Intel. Wow, the estimate was a penny on that, wasn't it? Hold on.
Estimate was negative 11 cents.
Negative 4.23. They crushed EPS. $0.23 beats 1 cent estimates. What I'm seeing on adjusted revenue 13.65 beats 13.13.
Guys, I gotta jump. I'll catch you later. Have a great afternoon.
All right, my man.
All right,
No worries, Will.
Appreciate you, Will.
Talk to you guys soon. Take care.
Talk soon.
Yes, sir. We'll see you tomorrow.
INTC. Did the numbers come out yet or no?
Yes. Yeah, I was calling those out. Their guide's basically in line, but that EPS is beat. There must be something. All right. What other earnings? Oh, Intel up 5%. I know a lot of people love that.
Oh yeah.
Ford is reporting Virgin Galactic. Who cares about them? Ford's adding a bunch of jobs in Kentucky. I don't see their earnings yet. Is Decker's out yet? I don't know, but if anybody took that long, there we go. Rizzo. Why do you hate me?
Dude, just fill me lower, dude.
Why do you hate me? Oh God, dude, we're gonna get it. I know Randolph took it. I guarantee he took it. He seems like a smart guy.
Should have just kept my average in the 180s, 200s.
Jordy, I got you real fast on this.
On the link?
Yeah.
Fuck, maybe a short 280s.
All right. Well, that hypothetical long that I said I was going to take the 50 points, I'll go ahead and take that.
There you go.
Hypothetically.
Okay, I really think we're gonna pull back. I took some short light. I'm taking into tonight.
Oh boy, Deckers
just got smoked.
That's not good.
Deckers has a double beat. Their guidance must be terrible.
Gonna risk 310. Yeah, I'm short 270s, 280s. I'll take a couple of these into tonight.
Wow. What's up, George?
There you go. All right, Rizzo.
He's in there. There he is.
How you doing?
We're gonna chat.
What's
we're gonna
up?
chat
What's
with
up?
George here a little bit. Rizzo, you're welcome to hang out with us.
Yeah, feel
Talk
free.
some,
It is nap
markets.
time.
No worries, nap time. All goody.
Boy,
Catch y'all tomorrow.
George. All right, later, Rizzo. George keeps getting rugged, but we got
we got him now. All good.
There we go. Hold on. Let me do something here. Let's go.
There we
Where's
go.
George? Why
you keep kicking him? Why you keep kicking
I'm
my
not
man
touching him.
over here? What the heck, George?
What's going on?
He keeps rugging you. I don't know what he's doing.
Just just chilling.
Throw me under the
Another
bus.
interesting day on the job, right?
Right? Yeah. Another day. Emp, you got to stop.
I'm not touching it, dude. I don't know what's going on.
I'm not touching it either. Wait.
What is?
We're on. It keeps knocking you out. I don't know why.
Like, I haven't even touched anything. I don't know what's going on, George.
Okay, I didn't. Neither of us touched
He needs to
anything.
close.
Might need to restart. Might need to restart it. I don't know. That's weird.
We'll get George on here in just a second. In the meantime, all right, let's try this again.
Yeah, maybe try and restart your computer if this doesn't work.
Yeah,
George.
because it's saying connection lost on my end. I don't know what's driving it, but
might be good now. No, damn.
No.
Damn.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. In the meantime,
let's look at the short-term bull list. I haven't looked at that in a minute. Yeah, bring this up too.
Got this up here.
7 days left. Oh, guys. There's like no time left. You guys remember when this was 60 days?
I remember. Yeah, well, I wish we could. I want to pull that up on the screen. I just dropped a link.
Yeah, anybody can click that link and bring up this page themselves and scroll through if you guys want to. There's a ton of great info on here. You guys have heard us talk about Prospero investment before. 7 days left. We're going to be talking about it a lot for the next 7 days, and then you guys will never, ever hear us talk about this investment ever again because it's not going to come back. So
I think you'll hear me talking about Prospero again, though.
Yeah, you'll hear us talking about Prospero again for sure. But this is the last of us, like really, pushing the investment side of things because there is only 7 days left, and we want to make sure it's in front of your guys' radar because some of you guys are using it and have made the decision to invest already. Or I know a lot of you guys might be on the fence. And look at that, sold out. We love that.
The lowest level sold out.
So now, what, $500 gets you the at least $500 bucks.
$500 you can still get the alerts access, which I mean that's what I want to ask George about once we get his connection rebooted here. But man, this 7 days left. I've watched this go up. Yesterday this was at 350. 8 people have jumped in today alone. This number flew up. The last time I looked at this number, it was like 371. So there's a lot of funds flowing in here.
A lot of money flow. I believe the day we started, it was at 235 or something like that, or 130.
No, it was like 180. I think
185. I don't know. It was something wild. We've done a lot in that area, so love to see the growth. Love to see the growth. I was actually just looking at the short-term bull list.
Yeah, I'll pull up that bull list. I want to pull up. I want to look at some charts.
Here, I'll well, number one is Apple, which has kind of been a given with this week.
Apple is number one?
Apple's number one.
I mean, making new all-time highs, hanging out right up there.
Looking really good technically still, in my opinion, as well. Here, let's see if we can get George.
What else is on that short-term bull list as we get George back on here?
UNH, Hood, which is a name I'm trading. Hood. I got 2x leverage Hood, and that's on the short-term bull list, which I love.
Imagine yesterday.
I'm long from the opening price today.
Imagine you freaked out yesterday at the 50-day moving average and you didn't check Prospero and see like, hey, Hood is still bullish. I mean, look at this from yesterday's low to today, 11% off of yesterday's low at the close today. That's crazy.
Yeah,
George, I think you're finally here with us.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah. I think my computer wanted an update, but I refused. I rolled the dice.
Rolled the dice. Windows 10 sunsetting.
Yeah. I mean, today was a very interesting day, and I think Robinhood is like kind of an interesting place to start because not only is Robinhood like one of these like high flying growth names, but I also think it really reflects the mood of the market. Like, if the market is worried, I feel like Robinhood is getting hammered more than the other growth names. Relevant to a headline, obviously. But when it's feeling good, you see it like snapped at like, why is it up 11% today? Like, it's not like there was any particular like news other than feels like everybody woke up and is feeling better about the market today. So yeah, to your point, that's one of the things that Prospero is there for. It has you, it's the old like value investing Mr. Market thing where, Ben Graham said, don't Or I think that was Burnett. Anyway, don't look at Mr. Market is sending you a price, but don't worry about it. You got to like zone into the longer term view. And I think the Prospero signals really help me, and I think other people do that, where it's just like, okay, there might be some price problems, but if we look into the options markets, institutions are not taking off their options contracts, so I shouldn't worry any more than they are.
Yeah, I mean that net option sentiment, such a powerful tool, and I mean, I don't know how busy some of you guys are, but I'm way too busy to like dive in and calculate the open interest changes and all that. I don't have time for that. Like literally, there's no way I could keep up with that. So I love the fact that something calculates and goes through all this for me. I mean, how many data points we've talked about this a couple times, but this is the number that always sticks out to me right here on this part of the screen. 100 million data points distilled, and that I couldn't even go through the 10,000. I mean 100 million.
Yeah, just our options input data set, and that's condensed from all the options data because we don't store all the raw options data in our database. Like one ticker, one day for our options, our derived options data set is over 100,000 data points. Sorry, 100,000 rows. Probably 1 million data points just for a day. So yeah, like that's one ticker, one day. So those numbers get up there pretty fast. Our options data is the biggest one, but we've got some other, socials, a pretty big data set too, all that stuff. But yeah, we take those data sets and, whether it be option sentiment or social sentiment, not only are we condensing those concepts into a simplified number, we're also scaling every stock against other stocks. So, you can get a really good, a really good sense of that. And it's, the thing, when you look at something like option sentiment that we invented, right, it can be a little harder to like really understand the value. But I think it's especially easy to understand it on in terms of like profitability or growth. What we're doing there, like a lot of people, they might say, hey, this company's got like an EPS of, $2.30. But most people don't know how to situate that amongst a bunch of other companies, let alone they might not really know what the forecast for that company is versus, backwards looking. So we're taking that forecast. We are, also running some economic simulations around that forecast and then giving you to a 0 to 100 profitability number. So I think that right there is a really, really good example of how we take a lot of complexity on the back end and turn it into a lot of simplicity on the front. And not only is it more simple, it's giving you more data than even a consensus EPS forecast.
That makes perfect sense to me, Jordan. I don't know. When I follow along with that, it's like, I don't know. There's just so many things that like are going on, especially with earnings season happening right now, George. Like, I just feel like there's so much noise going on, and having something that kind of sifts through that and brings it down, it just makes sense to me. I don't know. Next week is going to be insane. Have you looked? And maybe you remember last time, but we have 3 Mag 7s reporting on Wednesday. We have FOMC and Jerome Powell on Wednesday, and throughout the whole week is going to be crazy. Do you look at Prospero? I mean, I know you look at Prospero every day, but do you look like a little bit deeper into some stuff, or maybe like take a step back? Like, how do you approach these big like binary events, and how like I feel like Prospero could really help in a situation like this to kind of cut out that noise and that like emotion that you get around all these binary things going on.
I mean, with the number of surprises we've started to see in the markets, and I think especially with going into Powell, there's a lot of tension. I don't need to tell anyone there's a lot of tension between Trump and Powell. and so like it's one of those things that even good news on an interest rate, I think is just like one Powell statement away from it going in the other direction. So how I use, and I think it's kind of like, I think it's best to talk about Prospero and how I use like what I view as like a volatile binary event like that. Like the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to be positioning myself as equally risk as possible. So as equally long short, if you use an inverse ETF, you know, maybe you want to scale that up a little more going into event. However you manage risk, I would say you increase it going into that event. And you know, why I'm always comfortable doing that is at any given time, I have some big high growth longs in my portfolio. And on a day that, you know, Powell doesn't say anything that scares anyone, we get a cut, anything like that, those high growth longs are going to more than make up for the short part, especially if I'm willing to exit those shorts quickly or de-risk quickly. If I have, you know, if I get validation of one side or the other, which by the way, I also wait a good amount for, probably at least until he's done speaking, and maybe even like a half hour after that, just to make sure I get a full read. And then on my individual names, I'm going to be hypersensitive to movements in net option sentiment. If I see upward trends on them, I'm going to be a lot more, you know, I'm probably going to cut my portfolio too. And I'm much less likely to cut the portfolio on either side if I see positive trends in net option sentiment or negative ones. Like whatever kind of has a negative trend going into the event is probably on the chopping block for me. And I think that, like, if there's one takeaway from what I just said about this, I don't think you should be afraid to over risk manage in these situations. Even if you go in and you're sure that it's going to be, you know, that you're going to get the good news and the market is going to, you know, react positively. You know, I would say most people, even more so than me, are loaded up on growth without any downside protection risk. So giving yourself a little more insurance heading into the event, it's not going to turn the event from a positive into a negative. You're probably just talking about it eating into a little bit of what you make on that positive event. And you're going to be very happy you did that if it goes the other way. And I think the only other thing I'm going to say is if it goes the other way, we are seeing more downside risk in the market today. So I think that's also why I'm emphasizing it. The market isn't as healthy as it was a month or two ago. That doesn't mean it's unhealthy. It just means you have to take that in consideration on these binary events.
That makes sense. And so like that's kind of what you're still seeing, you know, just to kind of wrap up that thought is you're still seeing, and we talked about this last week, and I think the week before when we first got that, what was it? Almost 2 weeks ago, about 10 days ago, that Thursday into Friday, you were on here on a Thursday afternoon. I guess it was two Thursdays ago. You were on here, and I was over on Spaces, but I was watching on my side monitor, kind of tuning in, and hey, net option sentiment's 0, and I'm going, what are we calling tops here at all-time high? Like, you know, not calling tops, but just saying, hey, there's something off on this. And I mean, that was, you know, sure enough, we get that huge down day the next day. Here, where's my daily chart on this? Because this is still what an example. And I think that's what maybe some people need is like, how does this actually work and how can I use it? But it was like net option sentiment was going to 0 on this day, and we talked about it that afternoon, and I mean we're up here and I'm going, wait a second, you know, especially if I kind of hide what's going on, we're doing this into all-time high, and I'm going, but what's going on here? And then you said even in the next morning, I think you guys were talking, and then sure enough that afternoon, I mean this is QQQ right here, but a 3.5% down day right there from the open to the close.
That was nasty.
And yeah, just nasty, and AI saw it coming, and you're still. So I guess my question is, I mean, one, just I want to bring people's attention to that again. But my question here is, you're still kind of seeing some of those same signs, even though the market maybe looks like it may have reset itself a little bit with this kind of consolidation and push back up. But you're still seeing some of the same kind of warning signs.
I mean, yesterday it was a little more concerning. Like today, we see QQQ net option sentiment up to 9. So, I mean, it's not bullish, but it was at 20 towards the middle of the day. So, healthier for sure. We're not where we were 2 weeks ago. And I mean, I think the other thing that was interesting about that Thursday was it wasn't just that it was at 0, it was that it was at 30 the day before, like near close, and then at 0 at open. And 30 is like neutral. Like what we give is like below 30 is bearish, above 40 is bullish, and like 30 to 40 is neutral, right? So it jumped from like neutral to like bottom bearish in one like kind of one reading from open to close. So that is like that's where you start to get like either there's a lot of concern in the market, or like when there's that much concern, you're probably like, okay, it's not just concern. Some people have really, they're betting against this. So yeah, I mean, we're seeing healthier, like we're seeing something healthier. I took an A-Lab position at the end of the day today. That was looking really good in our momentum score. And actually what I looked at, like the AI from our trade alert system had to say about it, there was some pretty cool, bull events for it. And I think they're pretty, uniquely positioned. I think they're one of those names that I could easily see, going up 30, 40% after earnings and not really having the same downside, because it's just like, how much are you going to unimpress in AI compute these days? So yeah, like it had me taking on, a little more risk. I still think we're in the what I upgraded us, a few weeks ago from the buy the dip market to the diamond hands market. That's what I'm calling this. Until further notice, this is the diamond hands market, and I'm calling it the diamond hands market because, most other markets that I've ever seen, it's, institutions are kind of deciding when to pull the plug on the growth.
Right.
And
yeah.
then like retail is like scared of institutions being like, oh, like did they pull out, or are the toots out of here? Versus this market, I'm calling it the diamond hands market. It's the opposite. Like institutions start to see a top, maybe they get a little more bearish, but they're looking around and being like, are we gonna get our way here? Are we gonna get eaten up on our shorts? Like quant funds are down 1.5% this year. And I think that's because they short all-time highs. They short high RSI. Like, that's what their algorithms are doing.
It's just different. The market's different, isn't it?
Yeah, they're not prepared. They're not prepared for this like rabid buy the dip diamond hands market.
So this question kind of like comes in here, and maybe black swan isn't the right thing to think about, but I want to hit on this question a little bit because this market does seem much different. And then I want to know kind of what Frazi's asking here. How is Prospero, like the data points that you guys use, if something were to come out, would you guys be able to kind of see that or rapidly adapt to it? If a big event came, if it came, black swans don't normally happen at all-time highs. And I mean, it's just not normal. I would love to hear your opinions on this, but if something did just shift in this market quickly, we started headed down, what data points is Prospero using, and how are you guys looking at that and going, hey, this is how we can monitor and see this as it's happening?
So a few things on that. The first thing is that the Prospero signals, they have like intelligence scale, as I call it, on top of them. But the foundational models are essentially like a collection of lessons that I've learned to program like what I would call underlying market equations. And this goes all the way back to my first job out of college when I was covering 2 print yellow pages companies that intentionally tripped their leverage ratio covenants to pay out secured debt holders, when me and a lot of other people that were, doing the analyst level work were left in the dust of that analysis. Although my boss he was the largest shareholder of both companies, he actually was going to sue them. He was on a different level than me and the rest of the people that were chatting on the phone about that. But that was one of the reasons I resolved to look at underlying market equations. So everything in Prospero's construction is actually under the thesis that there are enough institutions like those secured debt holders that know the situation better than what it looks like in some of the other numbers, that we can pick that up. And when we talked about 2 weeks ago, we were picking that up in the Q2. We were picking up that some people expected something bad to happen, and whether they were just aggressively hedging, or they knew more than that, or anything else like that, we pick it up. We did that, and this is no mystery. Like, we did it before Liberation Day. There was a letter that we literally called "Don't Trim the Hedges" on 3/30/25, teaching people how to use inverse ETFs to manage risk. You know what I started there? We went officially bearish on 2/23/25 when we started to see net option sentiment go down a little bit. On one of my favorite newsletters, actually, it's by people that work on Wall Street, one of their favorites. It was literally called "Don't F with Our Money," and it was about how Steve Cohen tanked the market when Donald Trump was kind of aggressively doing it, or led a Friday tank of the market. But the first time was actually on 2/9. We published a letter, and this is all a matter of record, talking about how we saw some concerning patterns in long-term options contracts dropping off and companies no longer being covered that were covered a year ago. So I'd say Prospero is as well positioned to see this coming as any technology out there, because we built it with the understanding that we expect there to be information. So a better way to say it is, if institutions know about this stuff before it happens, we have built a sensor system to discover. And then in the other scenario, that really nobody knows what's going on, then nobody knows what's going on. But Prospero, unlike any other tool for retail investors, it updates every 3 minutes with the express, and I think we can get that up to 1 minute for you next, with the express thesis that if nobody knows what's going on and they find out, we can figure out what they think about it in the options market real quick and deliver it to you, probably faster than any other system out there. So we got both scenarios covered, the only 2 scenarios in that situation, really well.
All right. Couple things here real fast. I want to just jump into a quick example so people can kind of see what it looks like inside the app first off, and then I want to kind of move into the alerts that you guys are getting going, and obviously this raise that we were showing people there at the beginning. So this one the other day, Apple, easy example for our people. Most of our people know Apple, and I open this up and I can look at this. This is what people will see in the app if they have the app, right? What are the pieces that you take away from looking at this with Apple? And I see there's 2 screenshots here, short term and long term, both on Apple. And so I'll just kind of leave those here. But my question would be, somebody's new, they downloaded Prospero for free in the App Store today. What are they looking at when they pull this up? And I just want to, maybe the applicability that a trader or an investor could to just look at this just as a quick example, and then we can talk about some of the alerts and other stuff that you guys are doing.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to make me say something I generally don't like to say, which is, things are looking good for Apple right now. And
somebody
Prospero.
kick Evan. Make sure Evan's not watching right now. Make sure Evan is not watching.
You can't encourage him.
Edit this out, Jordan.
But so
yeah,
we're
not saving this part of the conversation.
I'll tell you what I'm seeing that I like, especially. Apple is always, what we tell people in terms of what we like for upside and downside is we like upside to be 30 points higher than downside as a table stakes for an investment. Generally for a long hold thesis, on a mega cap, I actually would like that number to be 90 or above. But this is viable if you like Apple. The other thing that I always look at, I can't see that profitability and growth for a mature mega cap, and for a long, we really like it, profitability plus growth to be above 120. Very logical reasons. In aggregate, we'd like a company to be, fairly above average in terms of adding your profitability to growth. One of our favorite stocks consistently is Meta, right? Also a very mature company, 90 profitability, 68 growth. Right. So that's the kind of thing we benchmark it to. Like Apple, even throw out all of the rest of the options metrics, everything that I'm about to talk about, you'd think you'd really want to own a 90 profitability, 68th growth company over my terrible eyes. I think that looks like 56.47. So that's thing one. But the thing that makes Apple look interesting is that little corner, the bottom left corner pocket there. Net option sentiment. Oh no, I switched to short. Net option sentiment 84, net social 84, technical 89, right? All three of those numbers being over 80 is very strong. So if you're a trader and you're thinking about taking a position, I would say that alone is validation. Anytime you're looking at above 80 in all three of those numbers, that is validation. And this is how I like to look at it. Three different important market drivers, right? You got net option sentiment, which is covering short-term institutional options demand. Then you've got net social sentiment, which is, basically how retail feels. And then you've got technical, which is just like, how do the algorithms, how does the pure technical algorithms feel? So if all three of those are feeling good, that is, that's a nice validation piece. You also like to see that lower short pressure as an added, like, okay, like what's my risk here? Unless you're going for short squeezes. But for a company like Apple, I a higher short pressure, anything above 60, I would say is very concerning. But yeah, that's how we arrive at, I would say, especially in the short-term signals, it's very good for Apple because you don't normally get, you don't consistently see those three as high as they are for Apple. So yeah, I think it's a good time for Apple.
I like that. I just wanted to take a second and show some of our people what this looks like. Obviously we can see it on our phones. If you just download it for free, you can look at it yourself. But I just wanted to get it up here on screen for everybody to take a look at that, of what it's doing over on the app side of things. Now, you guys have built out so much more than just an app. This is the dog days of the Rays, right? We're 7 days left here, and this number is just crawling up each and every day right now. I've seen more and more people jumping in. Tell us a little bit about the Rays again. I would love to hear some of the plans that are going on, how the Rays is going, and just kind of diving into that. And then, of course, the alerts and some of these other products. A lot of people, when I think about, okay, I want to invest in something. If I like it, that's already a big check mark. But then I also need to know, how is that company going to make money with this, right? How are they going to start profiting off of this? And we know the app side is free, but you guys have got a lot of other things going on. Can you just dive into some of that for us today, George?
Yeah. So, obviously, I think a lot of people are very excited about the alerts product. We've caught some really good stocks on an upswing that I would say our signals don't typically do. I think a good story about UUU, which was one of the ones, one of the big high flyers that we had. Someone on our, I think it was our trading letter, our Discord, when I added it, was like, this isn't your normal profile. Because it was it's net options plus upside, which is one of the key things that I look at, was only 160. And typically I like that to be 170, 180. And so it was lower, but our AI system really liked some of the fundamentals of it. It liked that spot prices of uranium were going up. It liked that it was the, biggest producer of uranium in the US. And then also it had exposure to rare earth minerals, which are, obviously going to go are going bonkers now. A little bit of a pullback, but longer term, a lot of confidence that there's a lot of value there. So yeah, I think that product is kind of a glimpse into the future, where you can take some of the best of our signal-based systems, foundational algorithms, and we've scaled up well with the most best modern LLM technology. And then in terms of where we're going business-wise, I think the really cool thing about this expansion, if you just look at our app numbers, we actually, at the start of this, we had 5,000 monthly actives about 4 months ago. And only 42% of those monthly actives were returning. Each month, both of those numbers has gone up. And we're actually at 8,800. You can pull up the numbers that we just did. It was actually in an answer that I just did. So you can probably find it there. It's down. Oh, yeah, discussion.
Oh, yeah, so I was like, okay, wait. I was like, I got here quicker.
It's a little further down. It's someone asked about our valuation, and that was one of the things. It's right there. Yeah, that first answer, if you expand it. I don't know if anyone's gonna be able to see that, but these are the numbers I'm quoting down here, right? So yeah, it goes all the way up this month, or September, to almost, 68% of the users are now returning users, and we're increasing the raw value. So I think that's really cool. It's hard to grow as fast as we're growing, and our weekly actives overall are now up to 15,000, which is a 50% increase from three months ago. So we're growing and we're retaining more as we grow, which is really, really hard to do. So I think that's an exciting part. That's why we're now projecting. We updated our projections. We're now projecting, with this trade release launch, with some of the other launches like our paid Discord, our web app. We're now projecting 1.5 million in revenue in 2026. So that's a really exciting number that we can, get there because of, other numbers like our newsletter. It's grown in the last 4 months. It's grown 50% in revenue.
Oh, wow.
And we're up to a 10% conversion rate on our weekly actives. So those numbers, especially when you factor in the fact that only 25% of our users even want to pay for a newsletter versus 75 want to pay for something like alerts. That's really, really exciting. And, I'd love for you to go, if you go to there's a Kwong Ho answer down there. And I like this one because I answered this question pretty quickly, and he invested shortly after I gave him the answer. And since then I was like, oh yeah, I do think I need to explain the business like this more often. Some people might look at our results, beating the S&P 500 by an average of 67% the last 4 years. And they might say why the hell are you not a hedge fund? Why the hell are you not managing money? And the answer is this, and what I laid out here, which is that we do want to be in wealth management, but we are actually in the process of building a cheaper, more loyal funnel. So, Wealthfront, Betterment, they paid about $1,000 a user for their early users. We get people into our funnel at $1.50 a user.
Wow.
And as we build that, right, and we roll out things like ETFs, robo-advisors, the same kind of higher profit revenue products like that, not only will we be able to bring in users cheaper, but we're going to be able to convert them, more easy and longer, because people will have seen our signals work in the app themselves. They'll have tried them, and they'll say someone sends you a wealth management product that this happens to me all the time, and they're like, should I use this? And I was like, I don't know, there's not much on their website,
yeah,
could be good,
where's the examples?
Yeah.
Show it to me in action over time.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not only, show you results, people can see that it gets results for them. And I would encourage people to read our reviews, whether you're thinking of becoming a user or an investor. You can see that everybody from beginner investors to experienced traders can get value from the same signals. And that's really cool, because I don't know another product out there that, a trader's like, hey, I can size my positions, I can find confluence, I can time my exits, things like that. And then an investor, the same way, that's a beginner, is like, hey, these help me understand the market better, pick stocks, get up to speed. That's really that says a lot about the simplicity and power of our products. And yeah, that is the long-term promise, right? We'll be able to, scale wealth management products as well as this fee for service products in ways that other companies just can't. And that's not the only thing. One of the other things that we are planning to do is ask for community generated data. That's one of the reasons why earning trust is important to us. So someday we want to be able to ask questions like, what's your temperature? And model, say, a pandemic in real time, and essentially do what US senators were doing when they were looking at hospital data, reassuring the public, shorting the market. But instead of that private arbitrage, we'd make that more of a public utility, which would just incentivize more data sharing, right? If we can get you into, if we can get in people's houses and just be optionally share your temperature, honestly, if people don't give us data, we're going to say, the app, you have to answer these 3 questions if you want to use the app today. We hope they just voluntarily do it. But, we want to compel people to hopefully build a better system where instead of, hedge funds, buying your real-time credit card swipes, camera data, satellite images, web traffic, buying it from other providers and using it against you, we want to team up and say, look, we're going to get you in on these trades. Like, instead of the senators being the only ones that are going to like capitalize on some pandemic,
Right.
we're going to get you in on the ground floor of that. We want to make you money. We want to make you money, whether it be in our app, your own trades, our ETFs that are going to be able to capitalize on special situations like that. We want to disrupt that inefficiency where institutions are using your data against you. And so that's why we think someday we can be, one of the largest asset managers in the world, because we're going to be the only asset manager that's actually teaming up with retail instead of competing with them.
Is there any competition, George? And like, is there any real competition? Anybody else trying to do what you guys are doing? And like, even if there's not, and that happens one day, like, how are you prepared to, I guess, take that on?
I would say in the like fee for service products, there are generative AI startups that are that can give you simple answers, but I don't think they're high value. Like, if you ask a generative AI competitor, and I've done this, to compare companies, they're giving you the PE ratios of those companies. And like, everybody knows that has been in this market that those aren't very high value numbers. And we've tried to create high value, more modern numbers. And then I think on the other end, it's like, there are good, like, advanced products, like things like dark pool prints that I know a lot of traders use, but that's inaccessible to most retail people. So we're like at the balance of simplicity and complexity power. But our long-term thing, nobody's like us, right? Like, I've invested a very long time in this long-term vision of being like, hey, I want to be different. I want to actually help people, make things simple for them, make them able to achieve results. So together we can build this financial system better. And I've known I have to earn trust to be able to ask for data, because, someday I'm going to be like, hey, share your data with Prospero. And some people will be like, why would I share my data with you? Like, how do I know it's going to be used for you? And I'm going to be able to say, I've been helping you anyway, and you haven't been giving me your data. So why wouldn't I keep helping you?
Yeah, some really good stuff. I love that.
I want to ask that the data thing. Data is like, it's digital gold. Like, that's what we hear everyone saying. With data, you think about the amount of data that Google has and that Netflix and all these people have. It's literally super valuable. And the fact that you guys are going to have a lot of that. I also thought, it's just a thought that popped in my head while you're speaking. If people connected, your users connected their actual like brokerage or their trades, and you could say, hey, we have 20,000 users and 15,000 of them are long Apple right now, or long Nvidia right now, or they're short Rivian right now with our, that kind of matches up with some of our picks. Is that like a useful thing? Is that something you guys are thinking about doing, is saying, hey, like almost crowdsourcing, like what the users are doing as well?
Everything we do is going to be something that we talk to our users about. So I don't know the comfort, like, we call that like a dark poll, right? Right now, we actually did a test. 58 questions aren't in the app right now because we don't really want to bother people until we have a critical mass of users where it would be useful from a data science perspective. But 58% of our users actually answer these questions voluntarily in V3 of our app. And it was questions as invasive as like, how much do you expect to earn in the next year? So this is like, very high value information. And we want people like, what I would say to that is like, if people are willing to do that and they trust us enough, and we found that we'd love as much data, we'd love their social media stuff.
Well, I've just seen like in like futures brokers, I've seen where like they'll say, well, out of all of our users, there's like 67% are long on the NASDAQ or the S&P right now, and the others are flat or short. Like just a general metric. It doesn't say like how long they are or how much money they have or any. It's got like a directional type of update. It just kind of popped in my head as you're saying that. That was like, that would be an interesting thing to check with the users on.
Definitely.
Another question. This one comes from the crowd again. Frozzy, shout out to him hanging out with us. Do you have? I know I look on there. I see stocks, I see ETFs and stuff. Do you guys have any futures or any data around the futures within Prospero?
No, but I mean, you could use,
You don't need
you
it,
could use
right? You can
QQQ
use
or
SPY.
SPY. Like.
Yeah.
To be clear, and this is a good question to clarify this, we are not predicting anything. Like, we are showing where institutions are betting and some other peripherals around that. So you can make your own assessment, right? Like, to me, actually, someone just saying like, sell QQQ is a lot less useful than you being able to say QQQ net option sentiment was at 30 yesterday and 0 today, right? Because that's not just saying there's a concern in QQQ. It's kind of quantifying the difference and letting you see that, right? And you can then also add to that, like, okay, that's what the options markets are saying. Like social sentiment on QQQ is down, 30 points. Long-term upside is down 20 points, right? So we're actually giving you this dashboard of, in aggregate, what I think is much more valuable and differentiated than just basically making a prediction that if you don't know what's below the surface, you can't create a better mental map for yourself. But if you use like all 10 signals on QQQ and you create that map, you'll be much smarter than you ever were before just looking at, one price forecast.
Yeah, I appreciate that. My brain, when you start talking about all these great things that you guys and all the avenues that you can possibly go with this, like my brain just starts like going into ADHD mode, thinking about all the possibilities you've set yourself up for it. I get excited. So sorry if I jumped in a little bit with that, but I just get excited, for you guys, I should say for us, because I've publicly said I was excited about this. I want to invest in AI, I want to invest with AI, and this just brings both of those together. So I've made it public that I've invested myself in this. I'm super excited about it. That link, just anybody is curious, the website that I am on right now is that link that we've got in the chat. I just pinned it up there again. You can jump in there. You can see all of this stuff. Dive in for yourself. Still 7 days left on the raise here. Or I say still 7 days, only 7 days left, I guess. So almost a sense of urgency at this point. But we're seeing more and more each and every day. George, I have one more question, and then I'm going to have to slide out of here. I think Jordan's going to take us home. But the different avenues that you guys can go as you continue forward. I'm thinking the alert service and the newsletter and Discord. And what are the avenues that, as we continue to see this road widen for you guys in the future, what are the avenues that you are exploring, if you can share those at this time?
Yeah, I mean, all of the above. Like, one of the things that I do want to mention is that, at the $1,000 level in the crowd fund, we're offering people, like, we're going to make a product summit where people are going to come and they're literally going to have a say in our roadmap. We thought that was a really cool part of this. And yeah, we're going to take that very seriously. Like, those 3 products that I mentioned are important to release because we already have them mostly ready. So, the web app, the alerts, we're going to release them paid. And then the Discord, and the Discord is going to be really cool. That's going to be for like our super fans. That's going to be our most expensive product, but we're going to let people try out like the system that we use to make the alerts, that LLM system. We're going to let people interact with that among other things. That's what's going to be on our paid Discord.
There is interaction with this?
When we launch
I
our
had
paid
not
Discord.
heard this yet.
Yeah. That'll be on like our paid Discord channel. Yeah.
That is going to be
it'll
sick.
Be like
you
a
get to interact with
search.
it. Wow.
It'll be like a graph search with Prospero too. We like that, but like we're gonna roll it out. We're gonna work out the kinks with people, so people will be able to be like, show me accelerated computing companies with the highest net option sentiment plus upside. Right? That is the kind of thing that I really love. Right?
No, you just got me fired up, George.
Yeah,
you just got me fired up. Like I just.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're the kind of the person that we think would buy that. Yeah, that's going to be a little more expensive than our
other it's definitely
a little more expensive than our other products. But yeah,
this is the
that's going to be
this
cool.
is the last. The last thing I've got to jump here because I've got another thing coming up in about 8 minutes. But George, my brain just got so excited because I literally was sitting there thinking, okay, rare earths. This is a huge thing right now. What are the best rare earth charts I can interact with? When you said interact with the LLM. I don't know if you saw me perk up over here, but you caught my attention, and the fact that you guys are going to be able to offer that to people, and obviously on the monetized thing, like I'm fired up over here, George. That was, of all the things, I've had some great conversations with you, and we appreciate your time coming on with us today. But that was probably the thing that's most fired me up, other than when you guys gave me an 800% win on Baidu a few weeks ago. So one A, one B on those two things right there. But
Yeah.
George, I appreciate you. I'm gonna slide off here. Jordan's gonna take this home. But hey, I really appreciate it, Jordan. I know you've got maybe a couple questions, and I want to hear kind of how this crowdfund is going here on the last few days as I slide out.
No, yeah. I mean, we've hit on a lot of great points on the stream. I guess I just want to give George a moment to hit on any points that you want to leave with the audience. And on top of that, I mean, last time we talked, we had a great signal for everybody, which I know that's not going to happen every time, of course. But if you're looking at anything right now, any setups going into the rest of the week or maybe into next week, I'd love to hear about some names you're looking at there. But before that, I just want to remind the audience that 7 days left, and it's been a wild ride with Prospero. So take advantage, guys. Look through the information. The link is pinned in the chat for you guys, and you guys can take advantage of all that. And you guys can talk to George if you have any concerns or questions for him. I know you can email George. Isn't it? What's your email, George? If you want to throw that out there for everybody.
George@prospero.ai.
George@prospero.ai. I'm gonna put that in the chat for everybody.
If you want to find out more about products, like anything like that, I am, I'm more than happy. I'm always happy to give away, free trials to our products. But yeah, I mean, the only thing I was kind of saying about that product summit or anything, like if you've tried our products, if you like what we're doing, invest in a crowdfund, tell your friends about it, right? There's a lot more we can build and build faster. But, at this point, like all this money is basically going to go to getting the word out a little more, launching the products that are already done or close to done. If you want to see more, if you have ideas, not only, invest at that $1,000 level, come get us, come vote with other people, but, tell other people about us. We have, we feel like we've done a lot to help the retail investing community. And we want to help more people. So if we've helped you or someone, think about throwing in.
Agreed. Yeah, for sure. Are there any tickers you're looking at going into the rest of the week? Any setups?
Yeah. I actually really something that's been like flashing for us a lot lately is Reddit. I think Reddit is a really interesting company right now. I think it has a good, it's got this like AI story to it. It's being used so much in these training models.
Here's some of the signals for everybody. That's the upside signal. So upside's looking pretty good.
Yeah. Nice.
And
bottom,
those are some of the short-term signals like we talked about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, you guys can download the app for 100% for free. We've been talking about the raise, and obviously the raise is one thing, but the app is free. So make sure you guys are using it. But
try it out, see it for yourself, see how it works. I think that would be an important step. And, thinking if you want to invest. And like I said, you want to try out our newsletter or anything, feel free to email me, George@prospero.ai.
You're awesome, George. Well, really appreciate your time. If you have anything else that you want to drop with the crew, feel free. But if not, I think we can get wrapping up on this one. But always a pleasure, George. I'm sure we'll be talking again. Again, guys, 7 days left. So grab that link that's pinned in the chat. Just look at the information. Even if you maybe aren't saying I'm really ready to invest in anything yet, it's just great information to look over and see what you might be missing out on. So we'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning for Friday live trading, and we'll be live on here all day. Won't be on Spaces. So we'll see everybody then. Wrap up the week. Hopefully it's a good one. We'll make some more money and wrap up this week strong. So everybody have a great rest of the night. And George, always a pleasure. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me on.
Peace out, guys.